Chicago Bears on Fox. Good afternoon, everybody. Kenny Albert, along with Darryl Johnston and Tony Siragusa. The Denver Broncos have become must-see TV. Winners of 5 straight games, Darryl. They've won the last 3 after trailing in the 4th quarter.
And you can't talk about the Denver Broncos without talking about Tim Tebow. You know, it doesn't really matter whether or not you like the way he plays the quarterback position. You have to respect him as a football player. His desire to be the best, his will to win has become infectious on this Broncos team. Watch the defense. Champ Bailey and Brian Dawkins will be on the sideline watching him lead this Bronco offense.
And on the other side, the Chicago Bears in desperate need of a victory. They started the season 7-3, but have lost both games after losing quarterback Jay Cutler.
And Caleb Haney has been the quarterback for those 2 starts. He's taken a lot of heat, but he hasn't gotten very much help. How many times have we seen the Chicago Bears win a game with their defense taking the ball away and scoring a touchdown? Or Devin Hester on a big return, that offensive line taking control of the line of scrimmage in the run game. Those 3 areas have to step up today and give Caleb Haney some help.
Darryl, time now for the logistics of the game, brought to you by UPS My Choice. Sign up now at ups.com/My Choice to get home delivery that fits your life.
Well, lost in Tebow mania as the Denver Bronco defense is playing very well. It's this group that allows them to play this offensive style, and the Chicago Bears have to get off to a quick start. Caleb Haney said we have to have a sense of urgency at the start of the game.
Downstairs to the Goose, Tony Siragusa caught up earlier with Tim Tebow.
So Darryl and I were having a discussion whether you're a quarterback with a defensive mentality or you're a linebacker playing quarterback.
Just a football player. I grew up playing, in the backyard with older brothers. They would beat me up, and you'd play everything. We'd be at quarterback, and I'd be like, I'm Danny Werfel. We'd go to receiver, and, I'd be like, I'm Jerry Rice. You'd go to DB. I'm Charles Woodson. He's still playing in the league,
More from Goose coming up, but first, today's NFL Mobile Moment, presented by Verizon.
Could Tim Tebow actually help the draft stock of Robert Griffin III? Well, right now, scouts have Griffin as a top 10 to 15 selection. And in the past, he probably dropped down because he plays in a college-style offense. But scouts and GMs have told me, because of what the Broncos have done with Tim Tebow and even Cam Newton in Carolina, teams now may be more apt to fit a college-style offense to help Griffin in the pros. Get coverage of every NFL game on NFL Mobile. Call Star NFL from your mobile phone to get NFL Mobile only from Verizon.
For 5 days only, get great holiday deals, like $100 off the 4G LTE Samsung Galaxy Tab, or buy one.
The National Football League.
.52 degrees and sunny here in Denver as we head down to the field. And Tony Siragusa.
Thanks, Kenny. Tebow mania has swept the nation. But I can't lie to you, coming here to Denver this week, I wasn't sold. Until I got a chance to meet Tim Tebow. I'm going to tell you a little something about this kid. He's tough, he's positive, he's full of energy, he loves to hit people, and when you talk to the guys on his defense, he's got a screw loose, which is my favorite attribute. From one guy with a screw loose to another, you just got to love the way this kid Tim Tebow plays the game.
Thanks, Goose. Darryl, is Tony saying that he himself has only one screw loose?
I think there's multiple screws that need tightening on that man.
Well, we would have an opportunity to see Tim Tebow at work in just a moment because the Bears won the toss but deferred. Kickoff sails through the end zone. So Tim Tebow and the Broncos will start from their own 20-yard line.
And I think the one thing that the Denver Broncos have seen from Tim Tebow is an improvement from week to week, and he talked to us about where he is now compared to where he was last year, just light years ahead of it. And I think you saw a good example of that last week against Minnesota. He beat Minnesota with his arm, not his legs.
Broncos without wide receiver Eddie Royal today, suffered a concussion last week. First and 10 from the 20-yard line, the handoff to Willis McGahee, who gains 3. Out to the 23-yard line, Lance Briggs made the tackle.
And it's funny, when you talk to the Bears defense, what they're afraid of is Willis McGahee and the traditional style of running the football. This Broncos offensive line is one of starting five groups that's been together all season long. They're very good. This is going to be a game not based on how well the option functions. That's a complementary piece, but how well they block in the traditional run game.
McGahee closing in on 900 yards for the season. Tebow out of the shotgun, hands it off to McGahee once again. No gain as he's wrapped up by Nick Roach. 3rd and 7 coming up as we check out the Bears defensive unit.
And one of the things I think that's going to be to the Bears' advantage is the speed in this group, the athleticism on the edges. And they actually said as they went back and prepared for this game and looked at all their option stuff, one of the things they felt, they got better across the board.
3 wide receivers set for the Broncos. 3rd down and 7. Denver must get to the 30 for a first down. Tebow in trouble, and he is down back at the 21-yard line.
I'll tell you what, Darryl, that defensive line did a great job with not only their pass rush, but squeezing the pocket. And they haven't stopped yet. They still want to squeeze that pocket if you look at them. One thing we got to keep our eyes on is that defensive lineman and how they go and rush Tim Tebow. If you watch right here, you see the 4 down linemen. They come. Now watch how none of them get out of their lanes. There's nowhere for Tebow to go. That's how they're going to go get sacks. That's how they can go and keep Tim Tebow under control today.
Henry Melton with the sack, his 7th of the season. Broncos lead the league in 3 and outs. They go 3 and out on their opening possession. Devin Hester back deep. Britton Colquitt waiting at his 7-yard line. Fair catch is called for by Hester at the 41, setting up terrific field position for Caleb Haney and the Bears. Early scores, Saints leading the Titans by 5 at the 2-minute warning. How about the Falcons? They have come all the way back, Darryl, from a 23-7 deficit down in Charlotte.
A couple of big comebacks in these early games. Detroit jumped out to a 21-0 lead. The Minnesota Vikings come back to within 1 touchdown.
And the Houston Texans in come-from-behind fashion. They trailed 19-10. Houston will clinch the division if the Saints hang on and defeat the Tennessee Titans. Caleb Haney out of Colorado State making his 3rd start for the Bears, able to get rid of it. Khalil Bell makes the catch back at the 39-yard line, but he's tackled by Brian Dawkins. Loss of a yard on the play.
We talked about getting off to a quick start for this Bears offense. Pretty lethargic in the first quarter. The last couple of games, Marion Barber is going to be your featured back today, but we will see Khalil Bell in a supplemental role. Maybe a different style of blocking for these guys up front. Maybe not so much of the down block and pull around to get on the edge that is Matt Forte's strength, but maybe some more zone blocking for a one-cut move for Marion Barber and Khalil Bell.
So no Jay Cutler, no Matt Forte. 2nd down and 11. The handoff to Barber. And the former Cowboy takes it up to the 44-yard line. Gain of 4. Marcus Thomas made the tackle.
Oh, this is a defense that was not happy with their performance last week. They gave up career highs to Christian Ponder, the quarterback, Toby Gerhart, the running back, and Percy Harvin, the wide receiver for the Minnesota Vikings. Von Miller back in the lineup today. He's a difference maker. Everybody you talk to is worried about his speed, that first step coming off the edge, and a very veteran secondary for the Denver Broncos.
Miller, the rookie out of Texas A&M. 3rd down and 7 for the Bears. And a timeout is taken by the Broncos.
First charge timeout, Denver.
Early first quarter in Denver.
One network. The Jaguars battle the Falcons. And a special edition of Cowboys Bucks live on NFL Network. TGIT.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com.
Back in Denver, 3rd down and 7 for the Bears following the Broncos timeout.
False start, number 67, offense, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Right guard Chris Spencer.
The Denver Broncos putting a bunch of speed to the right-hand side of that Chicago offense. They've got all their linebackers walked over there. You take a look, here they are. And then you got your big defensive end, Jason Hunter, standing up. So there's that speed front that Chicago's worried about. They're going to slide their protections all the way to that side.
3rd down and 12 following the penalty. Bears must get to the Denver 49. Haney steps up, dumps it off, and Khalil Bell is tackled at midfield, looks to be just short.
That's a great individual effort by Khalil Bell to put the Bears in a position to make a decision whether you want to go for it here on 4th and short. He should have been tackled 2 or 3 yards short of that marker, but it was his effort that got him close.
Lovie Smith sending out his punting unit. Adam Podlish. Quan Cosby back deep for the Broncos. Podlish punting from his own 40. Hang time. Fair catch called for at the 15-yard line by Cosby. Tim Tebow and the Broncos offense when we return.
Without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
Today's game is sponsored by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Here we go.
Both teams went 3 and out on their opening drives. In fact, coming into this game, they were 1 and 2 in the league as far as 3 and out series this season.
Well, this is going to be a big field position game, and you've got that decision maybe to go for it on the 4th and short, but Lovie Smith is not going to be aggressive this early in the game. Play the field position game, make the Broncos drive the length of the field.
From the 15-yard line, after Tebow faked the handoff to McGahee, he is brought down back at the 11. Loss of 4 with Israel Adonijah leading the way.
Well, this is one of the issues they'll have trying to run the option. Watch the athleticism on the outside. Israel Adonijah comes down, reads the dive back, but then has the ability to change direction and get out and impact Tim Tebow with his decision to hold it.
Tim Tebow's lucky he didn't pitch it because Brian Urlacher, I think, would have gotten that pitch. Think they've studied this option this week, Darryl?
Just a little bit. I think they're dialed in on their option rules.
Loss of 3, now 2nd and 13 as Tebow faked the handoff to Demaryius Thomas. Pass is caught by Lance Ball. Ball takes it up to the 22-yard line for a gain of 9.
That'll be one of the other challenges, though, Tony, is all that action in the backfield, some option look, some end-around look, and all of a sudden Tim Tebow pops out. He's got the ball looking to throw it. The Bears are going to play a lot of man-to-man coverage to help them with their option responsibilities, so they're going to have to be really, really good making sure they've got the right man in coverage.
Three wide receivers set, 3rd down and 4. Tebow downfield intended for Eric Decker. Broken up beautifully by DJ Moore, returning to the Bears lineup today after missing the last 3 games.
And this is the throw that I think Tim Tebow makes really well. Eric Decker's here in the slot. He's going to release up the field on a little bit of a wheel route, but that deep ball, whether it's down the seam in the numbers area or out on the sideline, is the throw that Tim Tebow really executes well.
Hester awaiting Colquitt's 2nd punt. Terrific kick by Colquitt, and a fair catch back at the 25-yard line. Caleb Haney of the Bears offense back to work in a moment.
With EcoBoost by K Jewelers, every kiss begins with K. And by Nationwide Insurance, Nationwide is on your side.
On a beautiful Sunday afternoon in Denver, Colorado.
Them jerseys don't rip very easy right there, but they're patching that one up.
Bears start from their own 25-yard line. Marion Barber takes it up the middle. He is brought down by Marcus Thomas. So Barber starting today. Darryl for the injured Matt Forte.
And I think we'll see a different style of run called here for the Chicago Bears. They'll use Khalil Bell maybe to get to the outside on the edge, where the way we've seen Matt Forte, Marion Barber is going to be inside between the tackles. He's a very, very physical runner.
Tries to run you over every time he gets the ball.
6 years in Dallas, a Pro Bowler back in 2007. Second down and 5, Hester in motion. Again, it's Barber running hard. Brian Dawkins drags him down, but not before Barber gains 8 more yards on a Bears first down.
And this is what I mean when I say you may see more of a zone style. You're going to see Marion Barber come in and then just cut right up the field. It's a one cut and go. You're going to challenge this defensive front of the Broncos to move themselves down the line of scrimmage. They're going to run down the line of scrimmage. You're going to get that one cut, and if somebody's not in their gap, Marion Barber is going to be through to the second level.
3 wide receivers, new set of downs from the 38-yard line. It's Barber again. Third straight handoff to Barber, and he is cut down by the right corner, Andre Goodman. No gain on the play.
Good run support by Andre Goodman right there, because you're going to bounce the ball all the way to the outside. If everybody has their gaps controlled, the ball has to bounce all the way outside. You see Roy Williams coming down in on the crack. Now it looks like it's going to be good out on the perimeter, but here comes Andre Goodman, and this is a nice tackle on a big physical runner. Come in low, take his legs out from underneath him.
Goodman, the 10-year vet, had a huge pick in the final minutes in Minnesota last week, which set up the game-winning field goal for Denver. Haney down, back at the 28-yard line. DJ Williams, his 4th sack of the season, loss of 9.
Well, we've got Roberto Garza and Marion Barber talking after the play, so obviously a breakdown in protection. You know, who's got number 55 coming through the gap? And it's a tough job for Marion Barber, because when you've got a linebacker coming through the gap and your quarterback is under center, you're asking your running back to do a tough duty to get down there and get in front of him. We usually hard call that. The guard will come down, take that backer coming through the inside gap. The running back adjusts to the defensive tackle.
Hester takes the snap and hands it off to Barber. And the Bears forced a punt for the second time. It was Earl Bennett who took that snap, and then the handoff to Marion Barber. So Adam Podlesh out to punt for the second time. So the big play, the sack by DJ Williams. Remember, Haney was sacked 7 times last week by the Chiefs.
Yeah, a group that only had 13 sacks all season long coming into the game had 7.
Punt taken at the 14-yard line by Quan Cosby. Out across the 25, a penalty marker at the end of the play.
There were 2 great blocks downfield, right where the flag was called. See what the officials are discussing.
Carl Cheffers, our referee this afternoon.
This is going to be a spot foul too, so what could have been some relatively good field position out near the 30, looks like it could be back inside the 10, maybe even the 5.
During the return, illegal blindside block, number 57 of the return team. That penalty will be enforced half the distance to the goal. Timeout.
Mario Hagan, the guilty Bronco. No score, first quarter here in Denver.
Saying that he doesn't agree with that call, that it wasn't a penalty, but by rule, when you're moving back towards your own end zone, you cannot blindside block the opponent.
Mario Hagan was flagged. Broncos start from the 9-yard line as Tebow hands off to Willis McGahee, who gains just 1.
We'll go back and take a look at it, and here's Mario Hagan right here, number 57. Now he's moving towards his own end zone, so that means he can't come and blindside Brian Ewu right there, and he's up around the head and neck area again. By rule, that's going to get flagged. Now, 5-10 years ago, that's going to be a great block, but with the move towards player safety and the rules that the NFL has put in place, that is now illegal.
Second down and 9. Tebow looks downfield, now throws. The catch is made by Thomas. Good second effort. He picks up a Broncos first down. Finally knocked out of bounds at the 23-yard line by Nick Roach. Gain of 13 for Demaryius Thomas.
And this was one of the concerns for the Chicago Bears. They don't want Tim Tebow to escape to his left. That's when he's at his most dangerous. As he comes out right here, he finds Demaryius Thomas. Now, this effort is phenomenal. Little stick route right here, works back to the quarterback, but the run after the catch, just great individual effort by Demaryius Thomas.
A career game last Sunday for Thomas. 4 catches, 144 yards. The pitch to McGahee. And he is wrapped up by Henry Melton back at the 21-yard line. Loss of a yard.
Well, dude, the one thing that kills the option goose is team speed.
Oh, man, I'll tell you what. If you watch, he pitches the ball. He's wide open outside, but watch how fast they close. He's going to go to his left right here. Or his right, our left. Here comes the option. He pitches it. Now he's wide open, but look at these guys running to the ball. Henry Melton just makes a great play, and that's just effort. That's what you get out of the Chicago Bears defense. They're going to run to the ball for 4 quarters.
Second down and 11 off the play fake to Lance Ball. Tebow moving to his left. Throws it away. Pass was high in the vicinity of both Decker and Thomas.
I enjoyed talking to offensive coordinator Mike McCoy for the Denver Broncos, and you know, he knew the challenges of creating the offense around Tim Tebow and his skill set. But you know, we talked with Rob Chudzinski in Carolina earlier this year and what he was doing with Cam Newton. You know, a similar situation. You've got to work with what you have, and it's been fun to watch this offense grow from week to week. And he says he steals some stuff on Saturday nights watching the college game.
Play clock winding down, and the Broncos unable to get the snap away in time.
Delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
That was funny watching those linebackers up on the line of scrimmage. Looked like they were coming on a blitz. When that clock goes down to 3-2, you know as soon as he yells hut, you get a little bit of a jump. See the 2 linebackers right here, Urlacher. Look at those signals, huh? Hits with the forearm, gonna move back.
3rd down and 16. Tebow with loads of time. Now moves to his left. And 5-1 downfield. Now he throws. Pass is bobbled and caught for a first down by Matt Willis at the 39-yard line. 14-yard completion.
Well, you can have a plan coming into a game, but you still have to execute that plan. And we talked with Julius Peppers, and he said the one thing we can't allow to happen is for Tim Tebow to move to his left, and it's happened 3 times on this drive. And with a guy like Tim Tebow as your quarterback, you've got to continue to move. Look at everybody. Everybody was actually on the opposite side of the field with their route design, and they work all the way to the other side of the field, find that open window, get in the line of sight of your quarterback.
I'll tell you what, those offensive linemen are doing a great job of staying with their blocks to give Tim Tebow plenty of time back there and see his receivers downfield.
Now McGahee on first down out to the 42. Gain of 3.
Very impressive what Willis McGahee has done and what he's really meant to this offense. And it was the #1 concern of the Chicago Bears. I mean, he's had a great season at this stage of his career. And you know, I think the wrinkle, the option, what you have to worry about, you start playing it a different way. You're a little bit soft, and then all of a sudden, that offensive line comes off with a big surge, and Willis McGahee's running right at you.
On second down, off the fake to McGahee. Tebow going deep for Decker. With Charles Tillman on the coverage, there's a flag back at the 30-yard line.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 55. Defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Lance Briggs.
Yeah, and he's up in the helmet area on Tim Tebow.
I don't know, it looked like he pulled off a little bit there, Darryl, didn't he? He's straight upright. Maybe they got him for the forearm to the head. That's the only thing I see there.
I think they did go helmet to helmet, Tony. Even though it wasn't a real hard hit, I think they still went helmet to helmet.
So the Broncos, thanks to the penalty, now in Bears territory for the first time today. McGahee turns the corner. And is forced out of bounds just inside the 40 at the 39-yard line by Tim Jennings. A gain of 4.
And this is the challenge for Chicago's defense. You're playing against this unconventional offense, and you're worried about all these different things. And Rod Marinelli's group has also got to be ready to just play this traditional style. You know, you've got a quarterback who's unique. You've got some plays that you've worked on all week long. But just remember, this Denver team can run the ball effectively with 2 backs.
Broncos empty the backfield. Jeremiah Johnson split out to the right. Tebow on 2nd and 6, this time moving to his right. And he overthrows the tight end, Daniel Phelps.
Well, that's what you talked about, Darryl. They want to get him moving to his right, not to his left. And if you look at the difference in the ball that was thrown, what wasn't even close. Take a look. He's moving to his right. He's got to throw across his body, doesn't get his feet set, and the ball just floats right over the top.
And that's what Julius Peppers told us last night, Goose. We're going to try and force Tebow to move to his right. Empty backfield once again, 3rd down and 6. Tebow steps up now. Backpedals, moving to his left, under pressure. And it is picked off. If Charles Tillman was able to get both feet down in bounds.
What an unbelievable job by Tillman to keep his feet in bounds and secure the catch. Look at this catch right here. Gets both feet down, looks, hips over, makes sure, and secures the ball.
Great job by Tillman. First pick thrown by Tebow in the last 6 games. 29th career interception for Charles Tillman, his 2nd this year. Tebow had got 103 pass attempts without throwing an interception. Marion Barber on 1st down out to the 27, gain of 3.
Well, this is a great job by Charles Tillman working the sideline. You see the elevation to go up and catch the ball, but then to get both feet down like Tony talked about. And Matthew Willis, he's got to stay alive on the outside. Tim Tebow wasn't trying to throw that away. He was putting it in an area for him to have the opportunity to go catch it.
Two injured Broncos. One is Robert Ayers. We'll be back. Robert Ayers and Brian Dawkins, the injured Denver Broncos.
And you're going to watch number 20 come in, and we always talk about seeing what you hit. And one of the big reasons is not only for your safety, but for your teammates' safety. Brian Dawkins comes in, hits Robert Ayers in the back, so Robert's got a sore back, and Brian's got a stiff neck.
Barber out to the 35-yard line. Jason Hunter in for Ayers. Raheem Moore in for Brian Dawkins. Marion Barber picks up a Bears 1st down.
Going with the ground game with 7 rushes, 3 passes.
Here's Barber once again, the 8th Bears run over their first 11 plays. And he's brought down by Von Miller after a short gain, just 1 yard. On the play as time winds down in this first quarter here in Denver.
Von Miller, we talk about him as a pass rusher, but there again, look at him working down the line of scrimmage in the run game too. An explosive.
One hand.
Yeah, imagine if he didn't have the club on.
Missed last week's game with the broken right thumb. Excited to be back in the lineup today. 2nd down and 8. Split backs, 3 wide receivers. Haney from the shotgun, gets rid of it quickly, and the catch is made by Johnny Knox. But the 13-year vet, Champ Bailey, is right there. Force Knox out of bounds. No gain on the play.
You get off coverage like that, you're going to throw that little screen. But look how technically sound Champ Bailey is. As he breaks on the ball, he comes up, he comes to balance, squares up the receiver, drives him out of bounds. That's textbook.
Third down and 8. 15 seconds remaining in the quarter. Bears must get to the 45 for a 1st down. And they are unable to, as Haney's pass is off the hands of Knox. Champ Bailey on the coverage.
Working the outside man-to-man coverage on the deep in route. He's got his separation right there. And here's Von Miller on the edge working against Lance Lewis, who gave up 5 sacks, 5 of the 7 sacks last week against Minnesota.
So the Bears cannot capitalize on the Tillman interception. Adam Podlesh punting for the 3rd time this quarter. Taken out to 19 by Cosby. 10-yard return out to the 29. Long snapper Chris Massey made the tackle. So the Broncos and Bears are scoreless after 1 here in Denver. We start the second quarter in Denver. Kenny Albert, Darryl Johnston, Tony Siragusa, Tim Tebow, and the Broncos go to work from their own 29-yard line. Willis McGahee in the backfield, 2 tight end set. Tebow hands it off to McGahee, running to his left. Out to the 32-yard line, gain of 3. Urlacher and Corey Wooten on the tackle.
Well, in the last series, you remember Charles Tillman with the interception. There's Tim Tebow over there talking to him about it. And, you know, he really was excited about the opportunity to play against this defense with Charles Tillman and Brian Urlacher, Lance Briggs, Julius Peppers. And it's one of the things that I enjoyed meeting him. He has a passion for the game, the history of the game. And you know, when people are critical of him, he says, you know what, I don't care. I've wanted to be an NFL quarterback since I was 7. I'm living my dream. I don't care what people say.
Number 75, Chris Clark in as an extra blocker as McGahee takes it up the middle, and there is a flag.
Illegal formation, offense, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
And one of the things that Tim, and he knows that this is true from John Fox, he has to show improvement in the passing game. And you can see right here over the last 4 games, you know, how he has improved from week to week.
I like to have a portfolio like that, huh, Darryl?
Yeah, especially during this economy.
Yeah.
Give me 50 shares of Tebow.
Season high, 202 yards last week in Minnesota. Penalty forces the Broncos back 5 yards. Now 2nd down and 12 as Tebow spins and then is taken down at the 24-yard line by Julius Peppers.
Once again, like we saw in that first series, that defensive line does a really good job of keeping it nice and tight. Watch these guys coming off the line of scrimmage. They're going, they're pressuring, there's nowhere for him to run, and then Julius Peppers does a really good job of falling back into the inside and reaching those big arms and playing basketball right around Tim Tebow and wrapping him up.
Former starter of North Carolina, Goose, 9th sack this season, 98th of Peppers' career. 3rd down and 15. Tebow takes off, needs to get to the 39-yard line, and it will depend on the spot.
He's got it, according to the spot.
Tebow does pick up a Broncos 1st down. And an injured Chicago Bear, number 91, Amobi Okoye, is down.
I mean, it's a breath of fresh air down when you see a quarterback running for a 1st down and not sliding.
Not only not sliding, Goose, but lowering his shoulder and taking people on.
Exactly. Look at this. What a run. Running people over.
Gain 16 on 3rd and 15.
Light, the world's most refreshing beer. By the Droid Razor, thin is no longer frail. Only at Verizon. And by the 2012 Jeep Grand Cherokee.
Back in Denver, there's Amobi Okoye, who was injured on the last play. Julius Peppers with his helmet off on the sidelines. Chris Clark in as an extra blocker for the Broncos. Once again, number 75, the handoff to McGahee. Up the middle for a gain of 2 after that 16-yard run for a 1st down by Tim Tebow.
And we talked at the top that Tim Tebow has not only generated excitement on the offensive side of the ball, but also the defensive side of the ball. There's Mario Hagan, 9th year. There's Champ Bailey, 13th year, up on the sideline, you know, watching him lead this offense. Now, I never made it to my 13th year, but I can tell you, in my 9th year, I was sitting down on the bench drinking some water in between series. But they want to see what he's going to do. They love his competitive spirit.
On 2nd and 8, Tebow moving to his left. Now goes the other way. Tries to make something out of nothing. Stephen Pyatt makes the tackle as Tebow got back to the original line of scrimmage.
But it was Chauncey Davis who blew up the play. Number 94, the defensive end. He's going to see Eric Decker coming across, but they're going to get out on that bootleg. He reads it and gets back upfield, forces Tim Tebow back to the inside. And then actually goes down, makes the tackle.
He's got Brian Urlacher running all over the place, driving him crazy.
Now 3rd down and 8. Broncos must get to midfield for a first down. Tebow to the outside. Chris Conte, the free safety, got a hand on it.
Looks like roughing the quarterback.
Foul, roughing the passer. Number 71, defense. Contact to the knee area of the quarterback. 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Second personal foul against Lovie Smith's defense. First Lance Briggs, and now Israel Adonijah.
And you can't give them freebies. You know, their one thing was we've got to make Denver go the long, hard way. You get down around that quarterback's knees in the pocket, and you're going to get flagged. You are responsible for your body. Even if you turn on a short corner real low and you lose your balance, it's still your responsibility to stay off the quarterback's legs.
I know it's the rule, and I know it deserves a flag, but it's not easy to do. When you're a defensive lineman and you're rushing the quarterback, and you got a guy trying to keep you away, you throw your body, you do whatever it takes to go and get to him, and sometimes you're going to get a flag, and sometimes you aren't. You can't let it affect what you're doing out there.
Low snap. The toss to Johnson. Jeremiah Johnson to the 38-yard line, gain of 5 as we check in on the Packers and the Raiders with Kurt Menefee. Kurt?
The weapons never end for the Packers. This is rookie Ryan Taylor, 7th-round pick out of North Carolina. First NFL catch, first NFL touchdown. Packers up 14-0. Kenny Moose and Goose, 17 different Packers have scored this season.
And his first NFL Lambeau leap, Kurt. Packers clinch a first-round bye with a win over the Raiders. And the Broncos keeping a close eye on that score as Spencer Larson, the fullback, takes the handoff from Tebow. Denver tied with Oakland, identical 7-5 records atop the AFC West. Raiders trailing 14-0 in Green Bay. What a job John Fox has done this season after a 1-4 start.
Outstanding, what he's been able to accomplish. And remember the lockout. I mean, they did not have an opportunity to get together as a staff and players during the course of the offseason. And that's why, you know, one of the reasons you're out to a 1-4 start, everything was brand new.
Here's Tebow. He picks up a first down and more. On 3rd down and 2, Tebow takes it down to the 25-yard line for a gain of 9.
Just nice complementary plays in the run offense here for the Denver Broncos. We saw the quick toss a couple of plays ago. Now you come back and you run that same action. Look at Lance Briggs clear out, vacates that area, gets Zane Beadles up inside on Brian Urlacher, and Tim Tebow jumps in right behind him.
Chris Conte finally made the tackle. Julius Peppers back on the field.
There's some more of his fans on the sideline standing up watching there, like we talked about earlier.
From the 25 on first down, McGahee stays at his feet and leaps forward to the 19-yard line. Gain of 6. Lance Briggs finally brought him down.
And here's an example of when you see this formation, automatically as a Bear defender, you've got to think option. You've got shotgun run, 2 guys in the backfield. But it's not. It's power run game from the shotgun. And let me tell you, the shotgun running game is not an easy game. It's very difficult. And one of the things that Denver has been able to do is incorporate a power run game from a shotgun look to complement that little change of pace with their option.
Second down and 3. Here's McGahee. What makes it so difficult out of the shotgun?
I just think when you're doing shotgun run, you're coming from a stagnant spot. We've seen other teams around the NFL try to do it. When you talk to offensive coaches, it's very, very difficult. A lot of times your offensive linemen are in 2-point stances because you're trying to give that pass look. The benefit with the Denver Broncos is they're able to get down in 3-point stances because you're worried about option. You're not worried about pass. So it gives them an advantage in their blocking against the front.
New set of downs for the Broncos. They are in the red zone from the Bears' 15-yard line. Off the fake to McGahee. Tebow to the end zone, overthrows Eric Decker.
This one just sailed on Tim Tebow here, off the play action.
Darryl, one thing that really I'm noticing from down here, difference between the first quarter to now, the linebackers for the Chicago Bears, the defensive linemen, they are so unsure if it's a run, if they're power running, if they're option. Right now, they're not attacking the way that we did see earlier in the game. Right now, they're so confused by all the misdirection and all the different plays that this Broncos team has that it's slowed them down.
And that's one of the things that you have to battle against. I think the Julius Peppers, that was his biggest concern, and you watch it on film, and especially last week when there was really only a couple of option-style plays used against Minnesota. But you're concerned about it. It impacts the way you're playing. And I agree with you, Tony. Now all of a sudden you're a little bit heavier on your heels. You're worried about moving side to side.
You're guessing.
Yeah.
Third down and 6 from the Bears' 11. Tebow looking for Lance Ball. Incomplete. Henry Melton on the coverage. Broncos will send out the field goal unit.
Henry Melton does a nice job here recognizing screen and getting out to make sure this isn't complete. Now here's Julius Peppers on the other side.
Yeah, that should have been a holding call on this one. He just tackles him to the ground. Really surprised that he didn't get this. Take a look at the top of your screen. Peppers comes around the corner. And Ryan Clady, I wonder if he's going to get a tackle for him.
Here's Matt Prater, who hit 2 huge field goals in the final minutes in Minnesota last Sunday. One tied the game, and then he won it with no time remaining.
Second charge timeout, Denver.
So the Broncos take their second timeout. 29-yard attempt when we return.
Chris Cooper, your right guard. Now he's going to be in charge of watching that clock because your center can't see it, but he also has to understand the situation. It's a 29-yard field goal. Let the clock run out. We'll kick the 34. Don't burn that timeout. John Fox was not happy.
Broncos had used their first timeout earlier. 28-yard attempt. Matt Prater, and it is blocked. Julius Peppers. How many times have we seen that throughout his career? And how many times has John Fox seen it as Peppers' coach in Carolina?
That's a jump ball.
He's one of the more unique athletes in the NFL.
Looks like a couple hands got on it. Looked like Adonijay could have had a piece too.
Now they got a lot of penetration. Look at that.
Wow.
Melton, Adonijay. Everybody's up in there.
Yeah, I think Peppers and Adonijay I think Israel Adonijay got more of that ball.
So the Bears take over from their own 20-yard line following the block. And that pass is dropped by Devin Hester.
There's another example of Caleb Haney not getting a whole lot of help from his supporting cast, and it was real critical last week. You're working from the, you can see the line right there. He's going from the sun into the shade. So we'll give Devin Hester a hall pass on that one, but it hit him right in the hands. He's got to help out his young quarterback.
You could give him the pass. I'm not. He's got to make that catch.
The hall pass for Moose, but not Goose. Second and 10. The toss to Marion Barber. Barber takes it out to the 28-yard line. Gain of 8 before he was finally brought down by DJ Williams.
And this is a play that's a staple of the Bears running game when you've got Matt Forte in there. And that's good execution right there with Marion Barber. That's not his strength as a running back. But that was a good job getting out on the perimeter getting some big yards.
Is it because he's not as patient now as a running back?
Yeah, I think it is.
When he hits that line of scrimmage, he wants to go. And on that particular play, when you got to get to the outside, you got to be patient and wait for your blocks to be set up, correct?
He's a downhill runner, Goose.
Okay.
Penalty markers prior to the snap.
Start, number 60, offense, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Second false start of the game by the right side of the Bears offensive line.
Well, you got number 58 lined up outside you, and everybody all week long has told you about how explosive he is off the line of scrimmage.
Good to see both Brian Dawkins and Robert Ayers back in for the Broncos. Both shaken up earlier. Now 3rd down and 7 following the penalty. Bears must get to the 30 for a 1st down. Haney under pressure. Down he goes. Back at the 14-yard line. Again, it is DJ Williams, his 2nd sack today.
Well, the reason you're going to get a sack is because you've got good coverage downfield by the Broncos. Good switch right there between Champ Bailey and Chris Harris in that man-to-man situation. Earl Bennett coming across. Brian Dawkins, a good job finding his way through the maze of players. And now you're so worried about Von Miller, you're going to free up DJ Williams into some one-on-one situations, and he's got 2 sacks already.
4th Bears possession, 4th Bears punt. Taken at the 33 by Quan Cosby. Cosby out to the 41-yard line, 8 on the return. Following the 52-yard punt. Terrific field position for Tebow and the Broncos following the sack by DJ Williams. Back in Denver, still scoreless. Best starting field position of the day for the Broncos. Split backs, Ball and Johnson. Off the fake to Ball. Tebow's pass intended for Eric Decker.
Another pass that should have been caught right there.
Absolutely, a chance to make a good play on the outside.
Yeah, you talked about it earlier about Tim Tebow makes a great throw to the outside like this. Right where he needs to be. Inside the playing field right there. He just needs to bring that in, Decker. You would have called that.
Absolutely.
Now on 2nd and 10, it's McGahee. Up the middle out to the 46. Gain of 4. Idonije the tackle.
And that's one of the things that we really have to talk about with this offense, Tony. You know, is the guys like Eric Decker, Demaryius Thomas, Matthew Willis, you know, the wide receivers in this offense, what they do for the run game. You know, whether it's the option or right there, you know, you're running into basically 9-man fronts because you're motioning in wide receivers and asking them to go inside and dig people out of the box. I mean, they came to the NFL hoping to be running down the sideline, catching long passes. This is a very, very unselfish offensive group.
3rd down and 6. Tebow takes off. Ryan Urlacher makes a terrific tackle. Tebow looks to be just short. His knee hit down before he extended.
Ryan Urlacher looked like he drops into coverage, but his eyes never come off of Tim Tebow. He's right in front of him. He squares him up and makes a great tackle to stop that 1st down.
And again, you can see how important field position is in this game. This is the 2nd opportunity for each of these teams in a 4th and short situation, almost identical field position, both teams electing to punt.
Colquitt punting for the 3rd time. Hester moving to his right. Fair catch and a flag.
During the kick, holding number 33 of the return team. Half the distance to the goal. 1st down, Chicago. Timeout.
Charles Tillman. Hands to the face and a little holding.
Still no score here in Denver. Late second quarter. Kenny Albert with Darryl Johnston. It's been a field position battle so far, and now the Bears backed up at their own 5-yard line.
It really has, and the big player has been penalties. Chicago had some untimely penalties, 2 personal fouls already with hits on Tim Tebow to help them out. The big play of the first half so far, the blocked field goal attempt by Julius Peppers.
Khalil Bell bottled up by Von Miller.
I'll tell you what, Von Miller, we're talking about athleticism. He makes the tackle. Watch him come through the line of scrimmage here. He makes the tackle with one hand. He gets up. Bing! The front flip.
You ever try that celebration, Deuce?
No, I'd be on a stretcher if I ever did something like that, guys. Tell you what, that flip got the stadium rolling, though.
Second down and 10. It's Bell again. And this time he'll do the celebrating as he picks up a Bears first down, gain of 12, out to the 17.
Darryl, you got to love this. This is just like a smash-mouth football game. Both teams running the ball, trying to pound it right down your throat. Nothing crazy. These runners all leaning forward, full head of steam.
Definitely old school style.
It is old school.
Under 3 minutes remaining, second quarter. From the 17, it's Khalil Bell. Bell out across the 20. Gain of 4. Bell in his 3rd season out of UCLA. Congratulations to our colleague at Fox, new head coach of the UCLA Bruins, Jim Mora.
Congratulations, coach.
Our director, Mike Frank, a graduate of UCLA, very happy with the decision.
Wishes he still had his eligibility. There's Matt Forte. 60 consecutive games since the start of his career until today.
A huge loss for this Bears offense. Even if Jay Cutler's still out there, Matt Forte is so key to this offense.
Second and 7. The slant is caught and taken for a first down by Khalil Bell out to the 33-yard line as we hit the 2-minute warning. 13-yard pass play. Bears are on the move. They started this drive at their own 5, scoreless in Denver.
And a last-second field goal by kicker Matt Prater, the Denver Broncos won their 5th straight game and earned a share of first place in the AFC West. Fix Dayquil and NyQuil. In the NFL, there are no sick days or nights.
Brian Dawkins has gone into the locker room, so still some lingering effects from that hit he took in the first quarter.
Placed by the rookie out of UCLA, Raheem Moore. First and 10 from the 33-yard line. Heaney to the near side, of the catch is made for another Bears first down by Johnny Knox in Broncos territory. 19-yard pass play.
One of the things you see about Caleb Heaney is he's really a rhythm guy. I mean, once the plays start happening, you know, he starts to build off that momentum. But, you know, we talked about it at the top. You know, he even stressed we've got to have more of a sense of urgency to start this game. They did not, but this is one thing that he's done. Late second quarter, fourth quarter, he's always seems to find his rhythm at that point.
Bears had only 2 first downs prior to this drive. They have 3 on this possession, which started back at the 5 as Heaney swings it out to Bell, but DJ Williams right there to make the tackle.
Got to make a better read. Caleb's got to see DJ Williams in man-to-man coverage on that throw.
Loss of 4 yards on the play. Bears have all 3 of their timeouts. A minute and a half. There's the former Bronco, Jay Cutler, missing his 3rd consecutive game. Underwent surgery here in Colorado 2 weeks ago. Had his stitches removed this week and was throwing on the field prior to the game today.
And in this offense, it really hit its stride with Jay Cutler there. They were putting up some points on consecutive games before that injury.
They won 5 in a row with Cutler. Second and 14. Heaney is tackled by Elvis Dumerville at the 49-yard line after gaining 2.
It's one of the things, when you can bring pressure from both edges, and we talk about Von Miller at the top, number 58, but then you've got Elvis Dumerville on the bottom, even double-teamed. You know, you're trying to give a little chip there as Kellen Davis releases, but he's one of those guys, he's relentless with his pass rush.
Bears finally use their first timeout. 3rd down and 13 upcoming for Chicago. For a preview of the Visa halftime report to Los Angeles, here's Kurt.
All right, coming up on the Visa halftime report, we'll have scores and highlights from what has already been a crazy Week 14 in the NFL, including Tom Brady having words with his offensive coordinator on the sideline. And Green Bay tries to keep perfect. That's all coming up on the Visa halftime.
Boy, how relaxed did the other guys look with their feet up on the desk? Bears facing a 3rd down and 13. They were 0 for 11 in their loss to the Chiefs last week. 0 for 4 so far today. Chicago must get to the Denver 38. Haney out of the shotgun. Fires downfield, and it is nearly picked off by Chris Harris.
This is a very, very well-designed defensive scheme right here. DJ Williams is out here on the left. You think pressure, watch him peel off and pick up Khalil Bell. I think that Caleb Haney thought he was going to have a clean back into the flat, so now he's got to adjust and go downfield. Almost throws the interception to Chris Harris.
In case Bear fans are wondering, that is not the Chris Harris who played for Chicago earlier this season. He is now in Detroit. This Chris Harris is a rookie out of Kansas. Podlesh punting for the 5th time. And it will take a Broncos bounce into the end zone. So Denver with 1 timeout, 37 seconds on the clock, will start from their own 20. This January, Fox returns to the Octagon with an incredible UFC Fight Night triple header. Some of the UFC's best fighters will battle for a shot at the title, headlined by former light heavyweight champ Rashad Evans and undefeated Phil Davis, plus 2 explosive middleweight bouts. The UFC Fight Night on Fox triple header will be live from Chicago, Saturday, January 28th at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, right here on Fox. Tebow with 45 yards in the air, 27 on the ground. 1 timeout, 37 seconds remaining in the scoreless first half. This is Lance Ball, and Ball picks up a first down out across the 32-yard line, and the Broncos will use their final timeout. Remember, they took their second on that field goal attempt, and then the field goal was blocked moments later.
Well, when you're sitting at 0-0, you've got to have some good defensive plays, and here's our play of the first half. We had 3 Bears push the center of that pile. You had Henry Melton, Israel Adonijah, and Julius Peppers all push that center area and block the field goal attempt of the Denver Broncos to keep us scoreless.
There has been one NFL game this season that was scoreless at the half. Giants and Patriots back on November 6th. And then they exploded in the second half. Giants won the game 24-20, but they were scoreless at halftime.
Good halftime adjustments by the Giants and the Patriots in that one.
So the Broncos with no timeouts, 29 seconds remaining. Here's Tebow on first down. That pass is dropped by Thomas. We saw Decker drop one earlier. Now Demaryius Thomas unable to hang on.
When you have teams in these situations, you talk about the margin for error, and it's small on both sides right here. You know, these guys have to start stepping up and making the plays. Demaryius Thomas has to make this catch. You come out in a 2-minute situation, you know, at the end of the first half, you have a good first play. Now all of a sudden you change what you were going to do, and you know, now you want to be aggressive. Demaryius Thomas drops a nice, easy catch there.
Second down and 10. Tebow with a rainbow pass. And that one sails over the head of Thomas with Tim Jennings on the coverage. Broncos have won their last 5, 6 of 7. There's Rod Marinelli, the defensive coordinator for the Bears, and Green Bay has now extended their lead over Oakland to 24-0. So that is more good news for the Broncos. 7 straight incompletions for Tebow. They keep it on the ground. And will be able to run out the clock as Jeremiah Johnson picks up a Denver first down. An incomplete pass, and they would have punted back to Hester. Broncos quickly up to the line.
How many times do we see situational football at the end of the half or the end of the game. Yeah, a missed opportunity right there. You've got to know in the huddle, listen, we're going to call a running play because we want to make sure at least the clock goes out. We don't have to punt the ball to Devin Hester on an incomplete. But when you hit that big play, everything changes, and nobody was on board.
Scoreless here in Denver. Visa halftime report is next.
Welcome to the Visa Halftime Report. More fans go with Visa.
And welcome to the Visa Halftime. Kurt Mennefield along with Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy. And everyone who predicted a low-scoring game, you're right. Chicago and the Broncos, no score at halftime. Also low-scoring, San Francisco already has clinched the West. They lead 9-7 over Arizona right now, late in the second half.
Raiders at the Green Bay Packers. Aaron Rodgers, Jordy Nelson, 37-yard touchdown, 39th touchdown pass on the season for Rodgers. That ties a franchise record with, you guessed it, Brett Favre. 30-0 Green Bay on top of the Raiders. That is late in the second quarter.
Also, the Buffalo Bills, they continue their woes. San Diego trying to get back in it. They're up 16-0. That one in the second quarter.
Tough first half, 6-3. The Saints were leading this football game. Matt Hasselbeck, quarterback for the Titans, injured left calf muscle in the second quarter. Then Breeze in the fourth quarter to Marcus Colston. Wide open down the middle. Great catch, extension, touchdown. 300-yard passing for the year. That's 10 straight. That is 10 for Breeze. And then with last play of the game, there it is. Locker sacked there by Jolon Dunbar. 22-17. Saints beat the Tennessee Titans. Philadelphia at Miami. Michael Vick's back. There's the helmet coming off. Hang in there, Mike. Second quarter, big back looking right. Then a post corner, down to the post, back to the corner. Deshaun Jackson, 34-yard touchdown pass, 26-10. Philadelphia beats Miami.
Andy Reid breathing a sigh of relief as his team ends a two-game slide. They're now 5-8. Atlanta at Carolina.
Atlanta at Carolina. 4 touchdown passes on the day. Matt Ryan finding Julio Jones. Julio Jones, a rookie out of Alabama, has 2 touchdowns. This one covering 75-yard. 31-23. Atlanta keeps their playoffs hopes alive as they beat the Carolina Panthers. Vikings at the line. Christian Ponder picked by Alfonso Smith. A little late with that pass. You got to gun it out there. He takes it back. Smith, it is. 30 yards into the end zone. And that is 3 turnovers in the first half. So Joe Webb comes in to take over for Ponder. There's his chance. He fumbles. There, Minnesota going in to win this football game. 34-28, the Lions beat Vikings. Buccaneers at the Jaguars. Blaine Gabbert to Maurice Jones drew 5-yard touchdown, 28-14. Maurice Jones drew 4 touchdowns on the day, a new franchise record, 7-3 touchdowns. And of course, Mel Tucker, interim head coach, gets his first victory, 41-14, Jacksonville over Tampa Bay.
Game ball and a medal. Nice day for Tucker. New England at Washington.
As soon as we see the Houston Texans at the Bengals, Dalton, the rookie quarterback, finds Simpson. That's a 15-play, 93-yard drive, 17-yard touchdown, 13-3 at this point. Then in the last seconds of the game, T.J. Yates drives the Houston Texans down, finds Kevin Walter, 6-yard touchdown. Yates' mom loves it, 20-19. Houston wins the AFC South. Congratulations, Gary Kubiak and owner Bob McNair. And then Tom Brady to Ron Gronkowski, the tight end, 14 touchdowns reception on the year for a tight end. That is a new NFL record. Fourth quarter, Brady looking for Tyquan Underwood, intercepted in the end zone. Then he gets into it with his offensive coordinator, Bill O'Brien. They're having it out, getting into it. I said this, I said that. Then on the ensuing drive, after the interception, Rex Grossman looking for Santana Moss. He's picked by Gerard Mayo, Brady, Bill O'Brien. Hug it out. A lot of love, baby. 34-27, New England beat the Washington Redskins.
Jets keep their playoff hopes alive with their highest scoring game of the year. The Colts now 0-12. Get this, guys. They lost 12 games combined the previous 3 seasons. All right, Jimmy, let's get back to our game right now and Chicago and Denver.
You know, the one thing that's been overlooked, I think, by so much publicity on Tim Tebow is just how good this Denver defense is. I mean, outstanding. They were able to hold Chicago to less than 100 yards total offense. They have not been able to convert on a third down. They're really struggling right now, and looks like it with Tebow, if it's tight at the end, Tebow can do it.
This is a Tebow kind of game so far. It's also a Caleb Haney type of game so far. Maybe both teams can use a little of this. Early due set with a big touchdown for the Cardinals and earning our Visa team play of the half. Second half of your game is next.
Scoreless at the half here in Denver. The second half coming up right after these messages. The Broncos and Bears are scoreless as we get set for the third quarter. Darryl, the first half numbers.
One of the big players in that first half were the penalties by Chicago. The 45 yards had a couple of personal fouls with hits on the quarterback. That was really the big thing. Julius Peppers really the play of the first half with the blocked field goal by the Broncos. Keep this at 0-0.
Follow your favorite team all season long. Go to iTunes.com/NFL. Remember, the Bears won the opening toss. They deferred. So Chicago will receive the second half kickoff. Johnny Knox back deep for the Bears. Matt Prater, who had that 28-yard field goal attempt blocked, sends this one through the back of the end zone. So Caleb Haney and the Bears offense will start from their own 20-yard line. An offense, Darryl, that has not scored a touchdown now in 6 full quarters.
And the third down problems continue. 0 for 11 last week against Kansas City. 0 for 5 in the first half today against the Denver Broncos. But we have seen some resurgence in some of the other areas, special teams with the big block. But I agree with the guys at the halftime show. This is turning into a Tim Tebow style of game. It's going to be tight down to the end, and he's done so well in those types of games so far this season.
Broncos have won their last 5. Over the last 3, they trailed in the fourth quarter and came back to win. This game is scoreless as Marion Barber is tackled by DJ Williams, who had a tremendous first half. His head coach, John Fox, spoke with Goose moments ago. Tony?
Well, when I talked to John coming out, he was really mad about, he thought that they had 1 second left and they could have took a shot at maybe kicking a field goal. One thing he said, we had our opportunities, but we dropped the ball. We got to get in field goal range. We got to get some points on the board, and we got to go and execute.
Would have been a record-setting field goal, and that is not reviewable. Officials deemed that the half came to an end. Pass off the hands of Marion Barber. Third down and 11 upcoming for Chicago.
Kenny, also Brian Dawkins with a neck. He's very questionable for coming back.
One of the things that Caleb Haney wanted to get better at this week, and he told everybody that he would be better, was his feel in the pocket. And he's got a little bit of pressure there, but he steps up. He's got to be able to deliver that throw to Marion Barber. It makes it so much easier. You're going to be third and short probably in that situation. Now you're third and 10 plus.
Three wide receivers set. Bears must get to the 30 for a first down, and the play is blown dead.
Once again, Lance Lewis, right tackle. Sees all those guys on the line of scrimmage.
Full start, number 60, offense, 5-yard penalty, third down.
He's so worried about getting his kick back to get in position to go and block the guy in front of him that he sees all those guys on the line of scrimmage. Watch right here, and he just leaves early. See how he kicks back real early? Worried about Von Miller.
His second false start today, and Darryl, as you mentioned earlier, he allowed 5 of the 7 sacks last week against the Chiefs. Third down and 16 following the penalty. Haney steps up and throws, pass intended for Johnny Knox, and there is another flag.
Illegal use of hands to the face, number 73. That penalty's declined, fourth down.
Left tackle Jamarcus Webb. John Fox declines the penalty. Bears will punt.
Just can't get any type of momentum going here. And you're going to get some help on the outside. Marion Barber, as he releases, is going to give a little chip on Von Miller. Better job by Caleb that time. Shuffle up, step up in that pocket, reset your feet.
6 Chicago possessions today. This will be punt number 6. Adam Podlesh from his own 4-yard line. Taken at the 32 by Cosby. Ron Cosby out to the 44. 12 yards on the return. The injured Bronco is David Bruton. Good field position for Tim Tebow and the Broncos.
By Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. By the all-new Volkswagen Passat 2012 Motor Trend Car of the Year. By Rise of the Planet of the Apes on Blu-ray and DVD in 2 days. And by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Here we go.
Best starting field position for the Broncos today from their own 45-yard line as Tebow hands it off to McGahee. And Willis McGahee is wrapped up. No gain on the play. Tebow just 3 of 13 in the air in the first half. In fact, his last 8 passes have been incomplete.
Yeah, but neither one of these quarterbacks got a whole lot of help. We had a lot of drops in that first half, especially near the end. So, again, you know, when you're a young quarterback making your way in the league, you need help from your supporting cast, and a little bit let down for both the quarterbacks in the first half.
On 2nd and 10, Tebow going deep for Thomas through his hands.
There's another example right there. Demaryius Thomas has got to make that catch.
That's exactly what John Fox was talking about going into halftime.
Here's all the things that you got to worry about. Read keep, out to the backside, all that play action. You sneak Demaryius Thomas over the top. Tim Tebow throws a nice ball into the middle of the field. Just doesn't finish the play.
Thomas in his second season out of Georgia Tech, selected 22nd overall, 3 picks before the Broncos chose Tebow. And with the play clock at 2, Broncos forced to burn an early timeout here in the second half.
Couldn't get the formation set the right way. Another early timeout used here again in the second half.
Through the hands of Thomas, we remain scoreless. Demaryius Thomas, 2 touchdown receptions for the Broncos last week against Minnesota. Nearly scored the first points of this game moments ago.
Another missed opportunity.
You only get so many in a game.
So now 3rd down and 10 following the timeout for Tim Tebow and the Broncos. They must get to the Bears 45 for a first down. Tebow moving to his left. He throws, and the pass is incomplete, intended for Matt Willis.
Well, they loaded up the defensive left side.
There is a flag.
And brought the pressure.
Illegal formation offense, only 6 players on the line of scrimmage. That penalty's declined. 4th down.
So Tebow now 0 for his last 10. Broncos will punt.
There's that pressure from the defensive left side, and again, the one thing it does, you get to Tim Tebow, but you flush him out to his left, which is one thing they didn't want to do this afternoon.
Devin Hester awaiting the punt from Colquitt. Last time these teams met back in 2007, in the 3rd quarter, Hester returned both a punt and a kickoff for a touchdown. End over end. Fair catch called for at the 19-yard line. Well, this February, NASCAR's best will converge at Daytona International Speedway for NASCAR's biggest race as defending Sprint Cup Series champion Tony Stewart and rookie Danica Patrick highlight a full field of drivers looking to take home auto racing's ultimate prize. Fox Sports is proud to bring you exclusive coverage of the Great American Race, the 54th running of the Daytona 500 on February 26th.
Sun goes down here. It's a little chilly out. See our guys up on the cameras right there.
Although a lot warmer than you would expect in Denver in December.
Absolutely, absolutely.
From the 19-yard line on first down, Khalil Bell. Bell takes it all the way out to the 32 for a gain of 13.
And I think what Chicago has to do right now, just based on what we saw in the first half, I think Khalil Bell needs to be the featured back here in the second half. He's running a little bit better than Marion Barber right now. He's effective in the passing game, so I would use Marion Barber as my changeup and allow Khalil Bell to get the majority of the carries.
There's Barber. New set of downs for the Bears. It's Bell again. Bell made his debut against Philadelphia back in November of 2009. On his first NFL carry, ran for 72 yards. Did not get into a game last season. Seeing extensive action today in the absence of Matt Forte.
And that's a big loss. Matt Forte is such a huge part of this offense. Not only, obviously, the leading rusher, but also the leading receiver by a substantial margin here for the Chicago Bears.
And he leads the entire league in yards from scrimmage. Second down and 8. Haney in trouble. Von Miller.
Again, it's that feel in the pocket. You've got to develop that feel in the pocket as a young quarterback. Needs to come out quicker. You're going to drop back. Ball needs to come out quick. When it doesn't come out quick, the athleticism, Lance Lewis, if you're going to go down and you're going to chop Von Miller, you better make sure you get him on the ground.
And 11 and a half sacks as a rookie. He won the Butkus Award last year, top linebacker in the nation. Who presented him the award in person on the Texas A&M campus? The former great Chicago Bear, Dick Butkus himself. Bears used their first timeout following the sack by Miller, who wears number 58 in tribute to one of his favorite players to watch on film, the late Derek Thomas.
Yeah, I mean, here's a guy who wore number 40 his entire career, in high school and then on to Texas A&M. But his coach at A&M was Joe Kynes, and Joe Kynes actually coached Derek Thomas back at Alabama in the late 80s with Cornelius Bennett and Keith McCants and that great linebacker group. And he would tell Vaughn, you've got that rare gift of that first step, and I haven't seen it since Derek Thomas. And actually Brian Dawkins, talking with us on Friday, mentioned the same thing. So in tribute to Derek Thomas, Von Miller, for the first time in his football career, wearing a number different than number 40, chose 58.
Third down and 15 following the sack by Miller. Haney looks to take off. Chased by Williams. And DJ Williams, who's had a tremendous game, makes the tackle at the 35-yard line. So Haney gains 8. Bears send out the punting unit.
DJ Williams has had an outstanding game. He's really been everywhere, whether he's been in coverage, pressuring the passer. You can see right there, it's a great adjustment on his part. He's got Khalil Bell in coverage, but be a football player. Keep your eyes up the field. Find that quarterback. Who's got the ball? Understand when you can leave your coverage and go make a play.
Starting to sound like a broken record. 7 Bears possessions, 7 punts. Moving to his left, Cosby picks it up on the bounce. And it's hit hard at the 13-yard line by Patrick Trahan.
Well, Caleb Haney told us if a possession ends with a kick, it's a good possession, but I think he meant a PAT at some point.
Or a field goal.
Or a field goal.
Away, the Broncos executive vice president of football operations.
Yeah, and he has been outspoken about the quarterback spot here with Tim Tebow. But I think he's watching the progression. I think that early on he saw the way the position was being played and he challenged him. We need better production from the quarterback spot.
Off the play fake to McGahee. Tebow gains 9 out to the 22.
And it's just that one time that you give up your responsibility, Goose.
I'll tell you what, if you just watch him, his eyes are always on the opposing team. Watch, he sees the ball, boom, he knows, I'm going to pull it out. There's nobody outside of Julius Peppers right now. I'm going to go and run for some yardage. Yeah, I had a hard time following the ball, and I thought Willis McGahee had it.
So did Julius Peppers.
Yeah.
Good thing you're not doing play-by-play. Yeah. Tebow has it again. Peppers says, no way.
Got me the first time, kid.
Fool me once. Shame on you. Fool me twice. Shame on me. He wasn't going to have that one happen this time.
Watch him right here. He goes, he looks down, but he stays square to the line of scrimmage so he can come back out. Does a nice job of stripping the ball, too.
Goose, is one of the things that most people can't do that, right? You don't have a Julius Peppers on every team.
No.
I mean, he and Israel Adonijah, Israel in the first half, were doing a very, very effective job of being able to move down the line of scrimmage in those situations.
On third down and 1, it's McGahee. And he He is tackled by Lance Briggs. Looks to be just short.
Good play by Lance Briggs right there. Boy, I mean, you get almost 9 yards on first down, and then you force this team to punt. That's impressive.
So at the bottom of that pile, Lance Briggs goes, wraps up his legs so he can't go and stretch out and get that first down.
So far today, Hester with 4 fair catches on punts from Colquitt. Angled towards the sideline, taken at the 32, and a chance to run for Hester, but he is forced back, stays on his feet. Wow. Has blockers. He is across midfield and finally tackled by Spencer Larson.
We talked about it earlier, Darryl. Kicking the ball at Devin Hester, it's like playing Russian roulette. You never know when he's going to go and have that opportunity to break that 30, 40, maybe even a touchdown. Here it is right here.
They've got him pinned in. I mean, this is unbelievable. Look at this. They've got 5, 6 guys right there. Now when he breaks right here, now you're just holding your breath. I tell you, Quentin Carter does a great job right there. He's out in open field, and he feathers it, plays it soft, slows him down a little bit, doesn't allow him to get that lane straight to the end zone.
26-yard return by Hester. From the Broncos 42, the handoff to Marion Barber. And Barber takes it down to the 37 for a gain of 5 on first down. Get coverage of every NFL game on NFL Mobile. Call ** NFL Now. We are scoreless here in Denver. There have been 514 points scored around the league this weekend, Thursday night and today. None so far in this game.
I think we had a feeling of that.
Bears have not scored a touchdown since the fourth quarter at Oakland 2 weeks ago. Fell to 3 points last week, nothing so far today. Barber, first down and more. Marion Barber finally tripped up at the 20, gain 17. We check in for a game break with Kurt.
The San Francisco 49ers have already clinched the West. They're trying to get that number 2 seed locked up. Frank Gore, the franchise's all-time leading rusher, will help that out with a 37-yard touchdown, and they extend their lead over the Cardinals 19-7 in the third quarter. Kenny Moose and Goose.
Thanks, Kurt. 49ers hoping to raise their record to 11-2. Deepest penetration today for Chicago from the 20. It's Barber. Leans forward to the 16-yard line. Gain of 4. Andre Goodman made the tackle.
Brian Dawkins on the sideline. Tony talked about him being very questionable for coming back. Got that pinched nerve in the first half.
And
now Andre Goodman going down.
Yeah, Goodman shaking up.
I tell you what, Marion Barber is showing me why I'm not a football coach. I thought Khalil Bell should have been the running back here in the second half, and it's been all Marion Barber on this drive. For Andre Goodman, that's like running into a brick wall. Nice job by Marion Barber being able to get down and take on that contact.
And then it looked like Goodman took a knee to the helmet from his teammate, Ryan McBean, at the end of the play.
Yeah, that's where I think he got hurt, because he wasn't expecting to get hit again. See that a lot.
So Dawkins, the 16-year vet, on the sidelines. Goodman, 10 seasons in the league. Will head off. Broncos with 3 of the 6 oldest starting defensive backs in the league, and 2 of them are not on the field.
There's your last remaining, Champ Bailey, still playing at a very high level at this stage of his career in the secondary.
Goodman replaced by Chris Harris. He's matched up with Roy Williams. Second down and 7. First trip into the red zone for the Bears today. Haney's pass is caught by Bell. And Khalil Bell takes it down to the 11-yard line, gain of 6.
Talked about Champ Bailey, open field tackle, does a great job on that play. Getting the runner down.
I like Caleb Haney's decision on that. You're on the boot and you come out. If the short guy is open, take him right away. Take those positive yards. Don't wait for Kellen Davis to pop open down the field. because they might cover up Khalil Bell during that time.
Barber in the backfield, 3rd down and 1. There's Barber. And he will pick up a Bears first down at the Broncos 9-yard line.
Marcus Thomas had a shot of tackling him back in the backfield. But you're not going to go and arm tackle Marion Barber when he's going downhill.
Now we're seeing the Bears play that complementary style of football, and it's all feeding off of the big punt return by Devin Hester. You come out, Marion Barber gives you a couple of big runs, and here you are, first down at the 9-yard line, 1st and goal.
And that was the first 3rd down converted by the Bears today after going 0 for 11 last week. Here's Barber, cuts to his left, breaks a tackle, he's in. Touchdown, Marion Barber.
All right, now this is a style of run that I didn't think Marion Barber was capable of. This is great feet. You know, I think of him as a very physical downhill runner. Watch the feet on Marion Barber on this run. There's your little jump cut, great vision, strength to break the tackle. That is an excellent run by Marion Barber.
Ran right through Raheem Moore on that play.
He is not a cutback runner. No. He's not coming out the back door very often.
Talk about field position after that 9-yard run by Tebow on 1st down. Broncos unable to pick up the first. They punted away. 25-yard return by Hester. And the Bears capitalize. Chicago with a 7-0 lead. Marion Barber, 9-yard touchdown run. Brian Dawkins on the Broncos sideline chatting with his replacement, Raheem Moore.
I don't think he was chatting with him, Kenny. No. I don't think he was very happy with the way that his guys in the secondary performed on that touchdown run. Quentin Carter had Marion Barber dead to rights at the line of scrimmage for no gain, and it was a poor tackle, head down.
Yeah, fundamentals.
Not a friendly chat?
Not a friendly chat at all. Encouraging, you know, challenging, but not friendly.
You had a look at Hester, who returned that punt 25 yards, setting up the Bears in terrific field position. Marion Barber giving Chicago a 7-0 lead. First points here at Denver today. Do the Broncos have the Bears right where they want them?
Absolutely. We're moving into the 4th quarter. It's a 1-possession game. Tim Tebow's at quarterback. It's about ready to get excited.
Yes, it's getting ready to go.
10 straight incompletions, as you saw. Tebow just 3 of 15 so far as he throws to the far sideline intended for Eric Decker.
Well, that's been one of the issues today. Now, this is going to be a good catch by Eric Decker if he's able to pull this in. Watch number 87 on the release up the field, breaking to the outside on Tim Jennings. Tangled up in the feet, probably did more than anything to prevent that catch.
Second and 10 from the 20-yard line. Bears lead the Broncos 7-0. As McGahee runs into a wall with Matt Tolina leading the way.
Well, we had that last one by Eric Decker. It would have been a tough catch, but we've had some other ones today that were a little bit easier. That's one by Eric Decker early in the first half. Demaryius Thomas, the end of the first half, when maybe they were going to jump into a 2-minute hurry-up, and then right here to the opening series of the 3rd quarter, Demaryius Thomas has one go through his hands. Looked like a touchdown if he can bring that one in.
Would have been an 89-yard touchdown for Thomas. Tebow down at the 26. Broncos will punt.
Brian Urlacher once again in the middle of the field. Tim Tebow just can't get away from him. He sees an open space to his right-hand side. You'll see it right here. I'm going to run. Right here, watch. Brian Urlacher. I mean, you're gonna go and shake and bake a couple guys, but very rarely will you get Brian Urlacher.
Third consecutive 3-and-out of this 3rd quarter for the Broncos offense. Hester waiting back at his own 30. Takes it out to 27.
Got him pinned in again.
Goes all the way across the field. It's a 9-yard return as he went sideline to sideline. 47-yard punt. Time for a game break with Kurt.
Well, Denver fans want to keep an eye on the AFC West. San Diego's Phillip Rivers, I don't think that's how it was drawn up. Ball just comes out. Brian Scott lands on it for the touchdown. San Diego does lead it, though, 16-10 in the third quarter. Kenny, Moose, and Goose in the other game of import. Green Bay all over Oakland, 31-0 at halftime.
All right, thanks, Kurt. Broncos and Raiders, both 7-5. San Diego, as Kurt mentioned, leading Buffalo, looking to raise their record to 6-7. As Haney hands it off to Barber, who scored the Bears touchdown moments ago. And Marion Barber gains 8 out to the 45-yard line. Congratulations to the Houston Texans in their first division championship, heading to the playoffs for the first time.
Yeah, and then we see a little flip-flop with the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Baltimore Ravens coming into the game today. The Ravens, having beaten the Steelers both times, if they're tied, they own the tiebreaker.
And the New York Jets with a big win, 37-10 over Kansas City. On 2nd and 2, here's Barber. And it is Marcus Thomas who holds Barber to no gain.
A lot of push this time. We've seen this Chicago offensive line create some running lanes the last few running plays for Marion Barber, but that time the Broncos defensive line pushing everybody back, filling all those gaps.
Quentin Carter also did a nice job of taking 2, going down low and not let that lineman get up on that second level.
4 wide receivers for the Bears. Now they empty the backfield. 3rd down and 2. As Haney throws, and Roy Williams able to make the catch. His first reception today for 17 yards, and Williams signals first down.
And here's a guy with a big drop last week on the outside. Watch this catch. And he grabbed the back half of the football on that one and pulled it in. It's been one of those games where you're kind of sitting around waiting for somebody to make a play. You wonder if that was the play right there for the Chicago Bears. Big catch on 3rd down by Roy Williams.
Under 2 minutes remaining, 3rd quarter, off the fake toss. Haney connects with Hester. A stiff arm by Devin Hester to the face of Champ Bailey, and a flag is thrown. Bailey was looking for the flag.
If you're going to go and use that stiff arm, you can't go and grab the face mask, and I think that's exactly what Devin Hester does right here. See Champ Bailey right on him.
You can't twist it and move it, Goose. You can get your hand on it.
Personal foul, face mask, number 23, offense, 15-yard penalty, repeat, first down.
It was almost right after the play when they were out of bounds. He hooked the bottom of the face mask with his finger. Right here, you see his finger wrapped around and doesn't let go. There's the face mask right there.
You know why that was able to happen, Goose? I mean, Champ Bailey, how many times have we seen him in run support come up and just make textbook tackles? He puts himself in such great position. You see some guys in that situation come up and just dive at the guy's legs, try to take the legs out. Now he comes up and fits everybody up. Very impressed with him with his tackling today.
It's the 3rd personal foul committed by the Bears, and now Haney uses Chicago's 2nd timeout.
Go back and take a look at the key plays of the game up until this point. The big one in the first half, I mean, you got 3 of the big guys coming through the center on a Broncos field goal attempt. Demaryius Thomas, the opening series for the Denver Broncos here in the 3rd quarter. It's going to be a tough catch, but you make that catch, you've got a touchdown. It's one of those games that's hanging in the balance, waiting for somebody to make that critical play that shifts momentum to their side.
And then we just saw a play right there. Personal foul on Devin Hester for 15. You know, could have taken him out of field goal range.
Now 1st down and 24. Bears empty the backfield once again. Bell split out to the left. Haney wrapped up back at the 42-yard line by Elvis Dumervil. The 4th Denver sack today.
Elvis Dumervil is going to be able to take advantage of the fact that everybody gets focused on Von Miller. Now, Jamarcus Webb has gone up against some good defensive ends, but he's having some issues today with Elvis Dumervil.
Boomerville 2 seasons ago led the NFL with 17 sacks. Now second down and 29. Khalil Bell up to the 45-yard line. Time winding down in this third quarter. Marion Barber with a 9-yard touchdown run to give Chicago the lead. Remember, the last 3 weeks, the Broncos trailed in the fourth quarter. Came back to win all 3 games. Tim Tebow has done it 5 times over his first 10 NFL starts. Haney on 3rd and 27. The screen to Barber. And Marion Barber down the sideline. Needing to get to the 38-yard line for a first down. And he is stopped 1 yard short on the initial spot.
That's the original line of scrimmage, Kenny, before the penalty. Actually needs to get down to the 28.
Right. With the clock running to the end of the third quarter. So Barber knocked out 11 yards shy. Bears will punt. When we come back, they take a 7-0 lead into the fourth quarter here in Denver. As we start the fourth quarter, Lovie Smith does not send out the punting unit. It is Robbie Gould who will attempt a 57-yard field goal. This has been a game of field position so far. A little surprising. He hit a 58-yarder during pregame warmups. His career long is 54 from the left hash. Robbie Gould from 57 yards out. The kick is good. And that is a new Chicago Bears franchise record. A 57-yard field goal by Robbie Gould on the first play of the fourth quarter. 10-0 Chicago.
Is sponsored by Nissan. Innovation for today, innovation for tomorrow, innovation for all. By Nationwide Insurance. Nationwide is on your side. And by Sprint. All football, no limits. Only from Sprint.
Bears now lead the Broncos 10-0 here in Denver. Bears, Darryl, played their first game in 1920. That was the longest field goal in franchise history. Kevin Butler hit a 55-yarder twice. Bob Thomas as well back in 1975 here in Denver. Robbie Gould from 57 yards out.
He had some more yards after that, Kenny. That was going to be good from a long ways out.
That would have been good from about 65. He hit the net.
So Tim Tebow and the Broncos trail 10-0. It has been well documented. The fourth quarter comebacks by Denver each of the last 3 weeks. 5 times in Tebow's 10 career starts. And how about his numbers in the fourth quarter this season compared to the first 3?
When the game is on the line, when it's hanging in the balance, he plays his best football of the day.
The Broncos trail by 10 following that field goal. Demaryius Thomas took the toss from Tebow and gains 5 out to the 25-yard line.
Very impressed by the Chicago defense this afternoon. They have done a great job. They have a lot of different things thrown at them. They've done a good job of just slowing down the power running game of the Denver Broncos. But when we have seen some kind of trick play or a gadget play in the run game, they have been really good with their assignments.
Second down and 5, Willis McGahee. Tackled from behind by Israel Adonijah, a loss of a yard.
You give this group a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter. This is going to be a tough challenge for Tim Tebow and this Broncos offense.
Tim Tebow, who has completed only 3 passes today, he is 0 for his last 11. He's been played by some drops, but just 3 for 16, 45 yards and a pick. They're down at 5. Tebow backpedaling. Being chased and he's forced out of bounds at the 27-yard line. by Craig Stelz. And the Broncos, for the fourth consecutive time in this second half, will go 3 and out.
Craig Stelz just does a nice job here of being down in front. As soon as he sees him break contain, comes off of his guy. He's been one of the key guys. You know, Craig Stelz and Chris Conte have been big players today when you talk about all the different things they've had to face in this running game. Being the alley guy that fills on the option, you know, kind of give him a little spy style right there on Tim Tebow in that situation.
Colquitt punting for the 7th time today. Nearly blocked by Trahan. Fair catch. Hester back at the 20-yard line. 2 minutes in, fourth quarter, with the Bears leading by 10. Fox Tuesday, TV's best new comedy, just keeps getting better. The smash hit New Girl, starring Zoe Deschanel, has its first Christmas together, and Jess is going to receive the biggest surprise of the season. Don't miss the comedy being hailed as the critics' new crush. Catch an auto episode of New Girl this Tuesday after Glee on Fox. The Chicago Bears with a 10-point lead. And Caleb Haney's third start for the injured Jay Cutler. Haney hands it off to Marion Barber, takes it out to the 26-yard line, gain of 5. Joe Mays on the tackle.
And Marion Barber has been a difference maker here in the second half. And I felt that maybe Khalil Bell was the better option here. He had played well in the first half. You saw him in the passing game, had some good runs, but Marion Barber has come out here in the second half and really just been very impressive running the football for the Bears.
Barber with 94 yards on the ground, averaging over 5 yards per carry. This time he looks to spin away from Broderick Bunkley, and then he is forced back by Von Miller.
There's your penetration, Goose, that shuts down those running plays. Broderick Bunkley gets into the backfield really quickly. Number 77, I think he's right here.
Yeah, a little sidestep right there. Marion Barber almost breaks away again, but...
Oh, he was going to break a tackle.
Von Miller goes and wraps him up right there with the one hand, gets him down to the ground. Tell you what, Von Miller's got one heck of a motor on him. He does not stop.
Now 3rd down and 10 for Chicago. They must get to the 31 for a first down, and they cannot, as that pass from Haney was high. He was looking for Barber.
Oh, did he just miss a huge play? Caleb Haney has Marion Barber. He is completely dropped in coverage. I mean, he's still running right now if Caleb Haney gets him the football.
All he had to do is just get it right over the line of scrimmage and put a little bit too much on it. Misjudged that totally.
Well, you know, backpedal a little bit more, step up, do something, but give yourself some time to let Marion Barber come into the middle of the field. Oh, that was going to be a huge play.
Instead, it's Podlish punting from his own 10-yard line. Good kick. Cosby waiting. Takes it at the 24. Up the sideline. 12-yard return out to the 36. Sam Hurd made the tackle. 55-yard punt. Tim Tebow and the Broncos trailing the Bears here in the fourth quarter. 10-0. Devin Hester worked on by the Bears medical staff. Big 26-yard punt return by Hester, which led to the first score of the game. It's now 10-0 Chicago. Tim Tebow and the Broncos start from their own 37. Penalty marker as Tebow loses a yard, takes a hit from Charles Tillman.
Holding, number 73, offense, 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
You know, they go with that empty backfield, Darryl, and they try to run the quarterback draw. But the Bears, they didn't just rush 4 guys. They had 5 guys on the line of scrimmage, and they were coming. And you see Brian Urlacher right behind there. I mean, he is right on Tim Tebow, and wherever he goes on the field, he is making sure he doesn't have a big play.
And Goose, the right guard, Chris Cooper, was flagged. Now first down and 20. Tebow 0 for his last 11. Took a hit from DJ Moore as he completes the pass to Demaryius Thomas. And for Tim Tebow, his first completion since the first quarter.
Well, he stood in the pocket here. He doesn't see DJ Moore coming off the slot. It's his blind side. Maybe not so much the hit from DJ Moore, but as he falls into his own player.
14-yard completion. His last completion came with over 4 minutes remaining in the first. Empty backfield for the Broncos, who trail by 10. Second down and 6. Tebow's pass to the 49-yard line is caught by Thomas for a Denver first down. So Tebow, after the 0 for 11, has hit on his last 2 pass attempts. And he has led 5 fourth-quarter comebacks, fourth quarter or overtime this season. A look at the scores. The Oakland game was tied. Denver trailed in the other 4, came back to win.
The 15 points at Miami with the onside kick. This is not territory that they have not been in before.
Complete to Matt Willis. Third straight completion for Tebow. And Willis takes it to the Chicago 36-yard line.
I'll tell you what, his offensive line is doing a great job of stoning that Chicago Bears defensive line on the line of scrimmage and giving Tim Tebow plenty of time to find his receivers downfield.
First and 10 from the Bears 36. Tebow has hit on his last 3 pass attempts.
I would take that play and cross it out.
Yeah, throw it away.
This Bears defense is too fast. He's going to the left. He's got Urlacher that's going to close him down on that side. You can see him right there, 54, just eyeing him. He's running right with him. He's got to stop. Now here comes Craig Stells. The other side. They're disciplined. They're fast. That play is not going to work.
Loss of 2.
Especially when you're running it straight at Julius Peppers.
Empty backfield, second down and 12. Tebow with time. And finding one downfield. Ball is loose on the hit from Adonijay. And the Bears have it. Stelz and Adonijay with the pressure. Second Denver turnover.
You just got to know when that play is over. Either get in, get out of there and run with it, or throw it away. But as soon as he sets right here, now he's going to drift back and reset again. Get rid of it. Either run or get rid of it.
Those offensive linemen can only go and hold up for so long. They do a great job, give them plenty of time to look for a receiver downfield. Craig Stells comes in. Tell you what, this kid is playing a great game today.
Yeah, it's followed up a great game from last week. You know what he did for Major Wright last week. I mean, Craig Stells, he steps in a supporting role, and just a great game against Kansas City last week and another one this afternoon.
Now Haney calls timeout. That is the Bears' third and final timeout. Big play by Stelz, the strip of his rival in college. Stelz out of LSU. Bears recover.
UPS. Let UPS put the power of logistics to work for you.
Chicago Bears take over at their own 45-yard line following the Broncos' turnover. The strip with Tebow. Haney hands it off to Barber. Barber out to the 46-yard line. Gain of 1 with under 9 minutes remaining here in Denver, and the Bears leading by 10.
And this Chicago Bears defense has come up with some big plays to help out their offense. It's time for Denver's to do the same. You know, we've kind of lost sight of how effective this defense has been during this run. A lot of the credit has gone to Tim Tebow and these fourth quarter finishes, but this defense is one of the big reasons why they're able to have those comebacks. They've got to get a takeaway here from the Bears.
Bears have not turned the ball over today. Second down and 9. Here's Barber up the middle to the 47. Gain of 2. Joe Mays made the tackle. Brian Dawkins on the sidelines.
You got to love Brian Dawkins. I mean, he's not in the game. He's injured with a neck injury, but he is still going to go do whatever he can to keep that team moving. Every team had one of them, huh, Darryl?
You know what? I think Philadelphia thought that he was not going to be able to play at the level he's playing at out here in Denver, and they have been searching for Brian Dawkins' replacement for years.
Dawkins' third season with the Broncos after 13 years as an Eagle. Third down and 7. Bears keep it on the ground with Barber, and he runs right into the arms of Robert Ayers. So the Bears will punt it back midway through this fourth quarter.
I know you've got a thought process in these situations, Tony, but Does it change at all when you've got Tim Tebow and this Denver offense having done what they've done in 5 games this season? That was a pretty conservative series of plays.
Real
right there.
conservative. You know, at some point you got to say, listen, we got to go and take a shot. You know, put it in Haney's hands a little bit to get us a first down. 3 runs right there, and now just punt the ball and play defense. When you have a defense like the Chicago Bears, you can make those decisions.
And over end kick. Taken at the 8 on a fair catch by Cosby. Just 7 minutes remaining here in Denver. The Broncos have scored in 305 consecutive games, second longest streak in NFL history, and they have never been shut out at home. They trail the Bears 10-0. Start from their own 7-yard line. Tebow back to the end zone, stays on his feet, now throws, and Eric Decker able to make the catch.
Oh my goodness.
Up at the 40-yard line.
You know, I'm standing right behind Brian Urlacher and Lance Briggs are keying on Tim Tebow. They're not going to let him go and run for a first down. They bring the pressure right there, but Tim looks down the field.
The only thing I'll criticize Chicago's defense on right now is when they've let him escape. They have let him escape to his left, and those are the types of plays he can make. But
yes, he's completed his last 4 pass attempts.
Turn your hands the other way. Can't catch with your hands that way.
It's Thomas again, his 3rd drop.
He's not ready coming out of his break. I mean, that's what happens. And then when he comes out of his break late, look at he's got his hands turned that way. You turn them the other way. Not fielding a ground ball.
You're not going to get many opportunities with Tim Tebow, but you got to make those catches, and that's one thing that they haven't been doing today. That's their 4th drop.
3 of the 4 committed by Thomas. 2nd and 10.
Check it down. Got Jeremiah Johnson wide open off to your left. In this situation, check it down. Let him get some positive yards after the catch. Keep your eye on 37 as he comes through. He's going to pop wide open to Tim Tebow's right. Nobody picks him up in coverage right now. I thought he was checking it down to him right there.
Now 3rd down and 10. Broncos must get to the 40 for a first. Tebow continues to backpedal. Now complete to Decker, but pass gains only 2 yards.
Up front, the Bears ran a nice little stunt right there. Still not getting pressure with 4 guys, though. Tim Tebow's had a lot of time in that backfield.
Yeah, but the Bears will let him just continue to drift back. I mean, he's got to learn. He's either got to break and get out to his left, or he's got to step up. I mean, you cannot continue to just drift backwards.
Colquitt punting from his own 21-yard line. Angled towards the sideline.
That's a great punt.
It's out of the hands of Hester. 5:41 remaining with the Bears leading by 10 on Friday, January 6th. It's one of the most anticipated bowl games of the season. 8th-ranked Kansas State takes on number 6 Arkansas in the only Big 12 SEC showdown. Our exclusive coverage of the 76th Cotton Bowl Classic live from Cowboys Stadium begins at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, January 6th in high definition on Fox.
10-2 versus 10-2. You look at Arkansas, their 2 losses, LSU and Alabama playing for the national championship, and then for Kansas State, Oklahoma State and Oklahoma, the co-champions of the Big 12. So it's going to be a great matchup in the Cotton Bowl.
It'll be a great night. From the 17-yard line, Khalil Bell.
Marcus Thomas does a nice job of going and penetrating Darryl, getting in the backfield and making the tackle this time.
Timeout. Goose is taken by the Broncos. They have 1 remaining.
The big thing today, though, is that the Chicago Bears defense has taken the ball away. They've given this offense an opportunity. Devin Hester with some punt returns. The special teams, the blocked field goal by Julius Peppers. The other complementary parts of this team have really come up big today. There's Charles Tillman in the first half. with a very athletic interception on the sideline. And then the last series when Tim Tebow had started to move the Broncos into scoring position, Craig Stells knocks the ball loose, but Brian Urlacher and his group have done a nice job today. You always talk about the takeaways when you talk about the Chicago Bears defense, and that has really been the difference this afternoon.
Second down at 11. It's Bell. He gains a yard with 5.5 remaining. We check in on the 49ers and Cardinals with Kurt.
49ers trying to hold off New Orleans for the number 2 seed, but Arizona trying to get the upset. This is John Skelton to Andre Roberts, 3-yard score, and the Cardinals are on top in the fourth quarter, 21-19. Kenny Moose and Goose, I know you had that in preseason, that Skelton to Roberts connection, right?
In my fantasy league, Kurt, I had it all covered, all different ways.
And the Cardinals, should they beat the 49ers, would go to 6 wins. Broncos, by the way, use their final timeout. The Bears at 7-5. They already know that the other 2 7-5 teams heading into play today have already won, Detroit and Atlanta.
Then there's a big game tonight, Dallas versus the New York Giants with 7-5 and 6-6.
Third down and 10, and the Bears keep it on the ground on third down once again. Khalil Bell out to the 24-yard line, stopped 3 yards short, so the Bears will punt it away and give it right back to the Broncos.
They're just trying to run this clock down. There's 2 drives in a row that we've seen, just running play. And, they're not trying to get they are trying to get the first down, but they're just trying to go, pin them back, let their defense come out here and let their defense win this game.
Well, they forced them to burn all their timeouts, Goose. And, Adam Podlesh has been doing a good job here punting the ball.
This will be his 10th punt today. Bears lead 10-0, punt number 10 by Adam Podlesh. Taken at the 31 by Quan Cosby. 6-yard return out to the 37.
Nice coverage by that Chicago Bears. Corey Graham does a great job right here. Eyes on the guy who's going to receive that ball. You know what, that is not easy, Darryl.
No, it is not.
Me and you both know that. Open field, fighting off guys that are trying to block you, do whatever they can to go and get in your way, and timing it so you don't get a penalty. Wrap it up for a nice tackle.
Graham leads the Bears in special teams tackles. So the Broncos go back to work from their own 37, out of timeouts. They have never been shut out at home in franchise history. Tebow's pass is caught by Lance Bell, but Tim Jennings is right there to make the tackle. Gain of 7 out to the 44.
Make the tackle and keep that clock running. He doesn't allow Lance to get out of bounds and stop the clock.
We approach 4 minutes remaining here in Denver. Second down and 3. Tebow once again complete to Ball for a Broncos first down in Bears territory.
You might be wondering, Tim Tebow is looking downfield trying to get that big play, but those safeties right back here for the Chicago Bears are playing 25 yards deep and letting everything happen in front of them so they don't give up the big play.
Nelson Conti. Check down to Jeremiah Johnson. Johnson to the Bears, 39. Urlacher brought him down. 3.5 remaining. From the 39. Tebow complete to Johnson once again. Tillman forced it out, so the clock stops with 3:11 remaining. Another Broncos first down.
It's a nice effort there. I mean, it's something small in this game, but the ability to stop this clock, don't go down on first contact, be able to fight, keep your momentum going down the field and get out of bounds.
Tebow 4 for 4 on this drive. All of the completions to the backs, Ball and Johnson. Tebow fires and the catch is made inside the 20 by Matt Willis. And Tebow is now 10 for his last 12 after the 11 straight incompletions.
It's the fourth quarter.
Clock continues to run. Broncos out of timeouts. 2:45 remaining. Denver trailing by 10. First and 10 from the Bears 17. Pass caught and taken down to the 11-yard line by Demaryius Thomas. Gain of 6.
Got to hurry up, get that ball clocked.
Yeah, a little faster.
Sense of urgency right here. We got too many offensive linemen walking. Got to get a couple plays off here before the 2-minute warning.
From the 11 on 2nd and 3. Tebow takes off. Throws to the end zone. Touchdown! Demaryius Thomas.
He's not just a runner when he steps up. Watch his eyes down the field the whole time. And some guys are just going to tuck this and take off. Great presence of where the line of scrimmage is, not crossing that. And with your eyes down the field, the opportunity to find Demaryius Thomas uncovered in the back of the end zone.
Oh, when you have a quarterback scrambling like that on defense, they tell you, play just like you're playing basketball, find your guy and stay with him. That's not what the Chicago Bears did.
Prater adds the extra point. So with 2:08 remaining, Tebow with an 11-yard touchdown pass to Thomas. Broncos pulled to within 3. And how big was that decision by Lovie Smith to go for the 57-yard field goal? Robbie Gould hit it for a franchise record, which made this a 10-point game at that point.
Well, Tony had told us that there were 58 pre-game, so you go and tell your coach what your distances are. So at 57, you take that shot with the 7-point lead. You roll the dice a little bit. It was a big field possession game at that point. But now, what do you do now? If you've got the 2-minute warning coming up, it's only a field goal. You've got Matt Prater on your team. He's got a big leg. Do you kick it away and play defense, or do you onside kick it here? I mean, this is going to be interesting to see what the decision. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Denver Broncos kick it away, knowing that they're up here at Mile High, air's a little bit thinner, ball's going to travel a little bit further, and you go down, you play great defense, you get an opportunity for a long field goal to tie this.
Yeah, because the Chicago Bears have not been really, doing a great job of getting first downs. They've been running the ball, trying to run the clock out, and it's sort of going against them right now.
But the problem is the Broncos do not have any timeouts. So I wouldn't be
clock will
surprised.
stop at the 2-minute mark. That's about all they got, right?
So I wouldn't be surprised to see an onside kick.
And really, the really crazy run here with these comebacks started in Miami, down 15 in the 4th, and it was an onside kick recovery that allowed them to win that game.
Wow, with the way they're lining up right now, that center of the field is wide open.
And the laces are pointing straight down the field. He doesn't have that ball turned one side or the other.
It is an onside kick by Prater. It bounces up in the air. It's knocked ahead and is recovered by Nick Roach of the Bears.
That ball
had an opportunity.
Hitting it in the air.
Holy moly!
Wow.
That ball was floating like a balloon. They did a great job, Denver, going and blocking the guys up on the line of scrimmage. Watch them right here. They don't care about the ball. They're blocking the guys. Everybody's got somebody. Now they got to go get the ball.
Oh, two of the guys going for it. Mario Hagan and David Bruton are going for the ball, and they kind of bump into each other. Watch right here, 29 and 57.
And it landed in the hands of Roach. So with 2:05 remaining, from the 49-yard line, Haney handing off to Barber. And now the clock will stop at the 2-minute warning. The onside kick by Prater recovered by the Bears. 2 minutes to go in Denver, Chicago by 3. What a job by the Bears defense today.
Yeah, barring a turnover right now, I don't think Denver can get the ball back. If they have a run here that goes beyond 5 to 6 seconds.
Here's Barber.
Stay in bounds. Oh!
Wow!
What a a mistake.
A huge mistake by Marion Barber, stopping the clock. The Bears would have been able to run the clock all the way down with 2 plays, the 40-second clock in between both. And they would have been able to let the clock run down prior to the punt, but Barber goes out of bounds, stopping the clock with 1:55. It is now 3rd down and 5. On their feet here in Denver. From the 46, it's Barber, and he is stopped after a gain of just 1.
What a huge mistake by Marion Barber on the previous play.
You give him a chance. That's all that this Denver team wants is a chance. And that guy right there, Tim Tebow, when given a chance before, he has come out shining.
What was Marion Barber thinking?
I have no idea. I mean, it's one of those situations you work at it in practice all the time. I mean, the coaches tell you about it. And then to just completely lock up in that situation and go out of bounds.
Play clock winding down. Bears will take a delay of game. Broncos will get the ball back. They scored a touchdown on their last possession as Tim Tebow went 7 for 7. For 63 yards, including the touchdown pass to Demaryius Thomas.
And remember now, we only need a field goal to get this thing tied.
4th down.
Matt Prater has got a big leg. He was dead on
70.
last week.
He hit a 70-yarder in warm-ups. And it went through, and he still had a little bit more leg there.
That's not what he needs. Julius Peppers coming up the middle, though.
He's got to get it over those big mitts.
Podlesh punting for the 11th time today.
They have overloaded this side.
Podlesh gets the punt away. Taken at the 11 by Cosby. And he's pulled down at the 19-yard line. Jabara Williams, a tremendous tackle on special teams. So Tim Tebow, 7 for 7 on the last drive, will get another opportunity with his Broncos trailing by 3. No timeouts. 56 seconds remaining after the huge mistake by Marion Barber running out of bounds.
I'll give Quan Crosby a little bit of credit right there, too. When you're going for a punt block, most of the times you're going to fair catch that ball. That would put him back a little bit farther. A nice aggressive job catching it.
For some reason, Darryl, I knew it was going to come down to this kind of scenario.
Here we go. Tebow on 1st and 10 from the 19. Tebow throws across the field to Decker. He will try and get out of bounds, and he does.
I know that Marion Barber would love to have that run back on that last series. I mean, he's sitting there all by himself right now, knowing that his mistake has put his team in this situation.
On 2nd and 2, Tebow to Lance Ball. Under 40 seconds remaining.
Chicago's going to give you everything into the middle of the field. They're going to rally up and tackle you and make you burn that time.
Tebow will clock it. 30 seconds remaining. Matt Prater, as Goose mentioned, hit from 70 during warm-ups. His career-long in an actual game is 59 against the Jets last season.
And if you watch this ball, it doesn't come close to that crossbar. He gets it by at least 3 or 4 yards. So 71, 72.
Broncos without a timeout. 2nd and 10, 30 seconds on the clock. Tebow throws, complete to Matt Willis. And Willis out of bounds at the Chicago 41-yard line.
Well, here's another huge mistake by the Chicago Bears. You're going to allow people in the middle of the field to catch the ball because they can't get out. Look at the cushion on the outside by Tim Jennings. And then he runs deep. You got 3 guys going deep with Eric Decker. You forget about Matt Willis.
Man, you got to give your defensive lineman at least a little bit of time to try and get to him.
Right now, from this spot, a field goal attempt would be 58, 59 yards. 23 seconds remaining. Tebow's pass is incomplete. No flags. Tim Jennings on the coverage. Thomas, the intended receiver.
Oh, that was close right there.
Yeah, I thought Tim might have gotten there a little bit early.
Yeah. Let's take a look at it right here.
Yeah. I think he's there a little bit early. Not through the back, but he makes contact. I think because he had his hands up in the air, Tony, instead of coming through over the shoulder, he might have gotten away with that one.
Now 18 seconds remaining. 2nd and 10 from the Bears' 41.
Good decision by Tim Tebow right there. You can't take the sack, but you also don't want to put your running back in a position where he's got a catchable ball. Because just instinctively, you're going to catch that. And if he does, I think that the game is over right there. He's not going to get to the sideline. Understand the situation. Allow your kicker to at least have the opportunity to tie this game. You cannot have a negative play in this situation. And they were very close on that last play to having one.
That's exactly what he has to do in this series. If he doesn't have it, get rid of the ball.
He must throw to the sidelines in order to get the field goal unit out on 4th down. Moving to his left.
Just run it.
Out of bounds at the 40. So here comes Matt Prater and the field goal unit out to attempt a 58-yard field goal to tie this game.
Well, they blocked one already, and that was only a 29-yarder. This one's going to have a lower trajectory because of the distance.
That middle of that.
And there's Julius Peppers lining up right over the football right now.
You know it. Career long, 59. This will be a 59-yard attempt. Colquitt will place it down from the left hash with the Bears leading by 3. Prater from 59 yards out for the tie. The kick is good.
Wow.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Lovie Smith is on the sideline of the Chicago Bears. He cannot believe what just happened.
I'll tell you what, Goose, it's unbelievable. It's a non-winnable situation that we just watched this team come back and tie this game. And again, we talked with Lovie Smith yesterday, and he talked about like negative chain of events during the course of this 2-game losing streak. He went back to the Oakland game and talked about the chance for points at the end of the first half when they had the big interception that Oakland got points from. The Hail Mary last week against Kansas City. You've got this game won. Denver's not even going to get the ball back if Marion Barber stays in bounds.
I mean, it's just amazing how things happen. Here's the play right here. Marion Barber. Watch, he runs to the left-hand side. All he has to do is stay in bounds.
Go down to a knee.
That's it. He can't get out. He thinks about it too late. Shakes his head when he gets up. And you gave Tim Tebow a chance, and he made the best of it.
Incredible. The Broncos scored 10 points in the last 2 minutes, 5 seconds. How about this, guys? Tebow in the 4th quarter, 15 of 20 for 163 yards.
I don't even know what to say.
I
don't know what to say.
It can't continue to happen. How does it continue to happen?
3 seconds remaining as Prater kicks it off. Hester from 8 yards deep takes it out. Why not? And we are headed for overtime in Denver. Tim Tebow leads yet another 4th quarter Denver Broncos comeback. They trailed by 10 with just over 2 minutes remaining. Scored a touchdown with 2:08 on the clock with no timeouts remaining. The onside kick was unsuccessful. Bears would have been able to run out the clock following the 2-minute warning, but Barber went out of bounds. Broncos got the ball back, and Matt Prater kicks a 59-yard field goal to tie this game.
I'll tell you what, the Chicago Bears are stunned. I'm looking at their sideline. They can't believe what just happened.
You know what? And how important is that going to be to get rid of that feeling as you go into overtime?
Oh, man, I'll tell you.
Denver's
about to begin an
high
overtime
right now.
period up to 15 minutes. Each team gets 2 timeouts. All of the challenge will be handled in the booth. The first team that scores wins. If neither team scores, the game ends in a tie. Chicago gets to call the toss. Heads, tails. You want tails? It is tails.
Take the ball.
Chicago gets the ball first. This end of the field.
John Fox said, Tim Tebow is a football player. The definition, competitive greatness. What an example we just had at the end of this game.
Southwest makes the call.
What?
Robbie Gould hit a 57-yard field goal early in the fourth quarter. Matt Prater, a 59-yard field goal with 3 seconds remaining. This is the first time in NFL history there have been 2 field goals of at least 57 yards in the same game. It's never happened.
Why should that be anything new here? I mean, this was an unwinnable game. We were watching the game. The magic has finally come to an end. They can't do it again.
Bears will get the ball first in overtime. Prater knocks the kickoff through the back of the end zone. So Caleb Haney and the Bears will start from their own 20-yard line. Haney today, 9 of 15, 76 yards. He could only watch the Tim Tebow magic late in that fourth quarter. Tebow told us on Friday the fourth quarter is more about will and heart than skill. I think he had all 3.
Yeah, he's got all 3. We talk about intangibles with Tim Tebow, but he's got the skill level too and the skill set.
The Bears have gained only 11 yards on their last 4 possessions today. Haney on first down complete, so they gain more yards on this play alone than their last 4 drives as Johnny Knox gained 17.
It was one of the things that Mike Martz talked about when he talked with Caleb Haney. You know, maybe I'm not giving him enough. Maybe we're not being as aggressive. Your first snap, come out, throw the ball, you get your big play. They were ultra conservative down the stretch in the fourth quarter.
The Broncos defense must hold here after the tremendous job by their offense over the last couple of minutes. Haney able to get rid of it, and it's complete to Roy Williams. He was about to be sacked, and he fired across the field, and Roy Williams makes the catch for a gain of 5.
You gotta like this kid. I mean, here comes Von Miller right into his face. Takes a hard hit to the ground, somehow gets the ball all the way out to Roy Williams. I mean, that's a heck of a throw to give him an opportunity to make that catch.
You see the red line at the 41, signifying where the Bears would need to get. Robbie Gould hit that 57-yarder earlier. Marion Barber makes a diving catch at the Denver 41.
Don't you like to see that? There's the guy that made the critical mistake in regulation, and does he get a great catch here? It sure looks like he's got that clean. That is a great catch by Marion Barber, making up for that big mistake in regulation.
From the Broncos 41, on first down, Haney throws it away. You saw that red line moments ago. Right now, if the Bears do not gain another yard, this would be about a 59-yard field goal attempt for Gould.
Great concentration by Marion Barber here, all the way to the ground, gets his hands underneath it, rolls it over, gets possession.
And remember, there are no challenges in overtime. Everything must come from upstairs. That was close.
That was really close. Bears do a nice job of getting that next play off so you can't go backwards.
Yes, they did. They hurried to the line, Goose. 2nd and 10 from the Denver 41. We are in overtime. Broncos with 10 points. The last 2 minutes, 8 seconds of regulation, and this play is blown dead.
First charge timeout, Chicago.
So the Bears able to call timeout before the play clock ran all the way down. Robbie Gould hit from 57 yards out earlier to give the Bears a 10-0 lead. Broncos came back with 10 points late. Here's a look at the Bears. franchise record 57-yard field goal on the first play of the fourth quarter.
With a 7-0 lead, you saw the distance it cleared the crossbar. Robbie Gould with probably an extra 8 to 10 yards on that kick. It was going the other direction, but the good news is Matt Prater hit his from 59 going this way.
Will Tim Tebow get another chance? 15 of 20 in the fourth quarter, 163 yards and a touchdown. On 2nd and 10, Marion Barber. Hard to bring him down. He gains 3 to the Denver 38.
I'm impressed by this Bears offense right now because they had to be so flat after watching the Denver Broncos come back and tie this game in regulation. They get the ball back first in overtime. And a team that had been very conservative down the stretch in the fourth quarter comes out much more aggressive. They've had guys step up and make plays.
Field goal attempt from this spot will be 56. 3rd down and 7. Barber breaks free, lost the football. Barber fumbles. And it is recovered by the Broncos. Elvis Dumervil with the recovery.
I don't know, Darryl. The chain of events that have happened in the last few minutes have been unbelievable.
I thought Marion Barber was about to break this one free.
I thought he was going to go for 6. You're absolutely right. Ball comes out. Denver recovers. We didn't think Tim Tebow was going to go and have an opportunity.
Wesley Woodyard with the fumble.
Woodyard the strip. Dumervil the recovery. First Chicago turnover today. It comes in overtime.
I feel my heart breaks for Marion Barber.
From the 34, Tebow on 1st down throws it out of bounds in the vicinity of Matt Willis. There's Woodyard, who came up with the strip, the forced fumble of Barber, who was the GOAT late in regulation when he went out of bounds with 1:55 remaining in the fourth, and now
and makes that huge catch earlier in this drive to get him into the position to be able to make that field goal or kick the field goal.
That red line, can't believe we've been talking about this. That signifies a 70-yard field goal attempt for Prater. There's Tebow on 2nd down, able to get rid of it. He was about to get sacked. So Tebow making something out of nothing, taken out to the 36-yard line for a gain of 2 by McGahee.
It looks like he's going to get sacked right here. He's in the grasp. Shuffle passes it up front, right to McGahee.
That came loose on Willis McGahee, I think, too, on the first contact.
3rd down and 8. Tebow fires, and the pass is caught by Demaryius Thomas for a Broncos first down.
And here's a guy who had critical drops all afternoon, runs a great route, makes a nice catch. I mean, somebody's just got to tell Tim Tebow in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd quarter, it's actually the 4th quarter.
Yeah, that's it.
Tebow was 3 for 16 over the first 3 quarters. 3 for 16. 15 for 20 in the fourth. Now in overtime. Tebow goes down back at the 44. Stephen Paya for a loss of 2. Broncos have already won 2 overtime games this year. 18-15 in Miami, 16-13 in San Diego. Second down and 12. Oh! Tebow to the outside, and it is caught by Thomas for another Denver first down. A 16-yard pass play to the Chicago 40.
It's just amazing that it's all coming together. It's not just Tim Tebow, it's the other people around him, too. We've seen Demaryius Thomas drop balls 3 times this afternoon. Look at this catch.
Not when it counts, though. They're in field goal range right here.
Thomas with 7 receptions, 78 yards. From the Bears 40, inside handoff to McGahee, and he is tackled by Urlacher after a gain of 1.
don't get conservative now, that you don't want to line up for a real long field goal. You've got to stay aggressive with your play calling.
Yeah, because if you do miss it, the other team has a pretty good kicker also, so they don't have to get very far for him to be in field goal range.
We have seen 57 and 59-yard field goals today. Tied at 10 remaining in overtime. From the 39 on second down. Tebow takes off. He's to the 34-yard line before he's tackled by Corey Wooten. Tebow gains 5.
And this has been typical of Tim Tebow through the course of the season. Look at him through the first 3 quarters. 3 of 16 for 45, and then 18 for 24. That is just unbelievable. 75% completion since the third quarter ended.
Third down and 4 from the 34. And a timeout is taken.
First charge timeout
by the Broncos. They're
Denver.
first.
It's been a tough afternoon for Marion Barber. And really, the Chicago Bears didn't have, Denver's not going to get the ball back. You know, you needed a run of like 5 seconds and it would have iced the clock. Marion Barber goes out of bounds and stops it after making a great catch and getting the Chicago Bears in field goal range. The fumble caused by Wesley Woodyard, the first drive of overtime. But again, you know, Lovey talked to us about the negative chain of events that have happened over the last 2 weeks, and that's awesome right there by Caleb Haney. He's been under the gun the last 2 weeks with everybody criticizing him and how he's playing the quarterback spot, and he's over there. He knows exactly how Marion Barber feels at this situation, but the Chicago defense allows Denver to score with 2:08 remaining in the fourth quarter. If they can play defense and force them to the 2-minute warning or inside, that starts that negative chain of events. Then you have the Marion Barber decision. You have a pass where they blew a coverage and allowed a 16-yard completion and to get out of bounds and stop the clock.
Tebow on 3rd and 4 will gain a yard down to the 33. So here comes Matt Prater, who hit a game-winning field goal in overtime in Minnesota last Sunday from 23 yards out. He hit from 59 to send this game into overtime, and this will be a 51-yard attempt. Remember, the Bears blocked a field goal earlier from the left hash. From 51 yards out, and a timeout is called by Chicago.
Second and final charge timeout. Chicago, a 30-second timeout.
Matt Prater this season has already hit 3 game-winning field goals, either in overtime or as time expired in regulation, all on the road. Broncos have won their 2 previous overtime games, and following this timeout, he will attempt a 51-yarder for the win after connecting from 59 to send this game to overtime.
The last 3 games that we have done, we have been treated to some great special teams play. The specialists we've had over the last 3 weeks and the games that we've covered, just been amazing, the performance of these guys. And today is another one. Robbie Gould, Matt Prater, today with their kicks, clutch kicks. It's been fantastic to watch.
Lonnie Paxton will snap it. Britton Colquitt will place it down from the left hash. Matt Prater from 51 yards out for the win. The kick is good. The Denver Broncos now 7-1 with Tim Tebow as their starting quarterback this season. Yet another fourth quarter comeback.
I tell you, if you're not a believer coming into this game, you have to be now. And this is spread throughout the entire locker room. The defense believes in what Tim Tebow does. And I think the greatest compliment you could ever be paid by anybody, coach, peer, is that you are the definition of a football player. That's what John Fox calls him. It's all about his competitive greatness.
We will return to Denver after these messages.
Creating a business website is easy. Whether you're a lawyer, a photographer,
in field goal range, and then he runs out of bounds when the Bears were trying to run out the clock late in the fourth quarter. The Bears have now lost 3 straight with Caleb Haney at the helm. They fall to 7-6 and are now on the outside of the playoff picture in the NFC. One of the ugliest Bear losses we probably have seen in recent memory. Welcome to Bears Postgame Live, presented by the Illinois Back Institute. I am Pat Boyle, as always, joined by 2-time Super Bowl champ Howard Griffith, former Super Bowl and former Bears quarterback Jim Miller, and our lead blocker Dan Jickets. Everybody is going to say the Bears were T-bowed, but they were barbered.
No question.
I mean, Marion Barber lost the game for the Bears.
I think you talk about situational football. You talk about understanding where you are in the time of the game, and you have to take care of the football. You have to wrap it up, have 2 hands on the football. And listen, when you have to run to the outside, they have that play called. You know you have to get down. Don't go out of bounds. I mean, it's just, you talked about it.
Yeah, it's really covered by the coaches. Your first time that you do 4-minute offense, we call it the 4-minute offense drill, where you're trying to work the clock. It's told by everybody. That's the first coaching point 101. Guys, you got to stay in bounds. Would have turned off more clock. The Bears should be flying home with the victory today in regulation. So, physically, the Bears did nothing wrong. Mentally, that just cost them the game, Jim.
Yeah, Marion Barber introduced the Bears to a way to snatch, defeat from the jaws of victory. And it's a shame. I mean, this was an excellent opportunity. You had to stay even with everybody else in terms of the playoff picture. Now you're looking up at the 2 teams that will make the playoff run. And frankly, it doesn't look real good if you're talking about looking at the end of the season. This was a game that he simply threw away.
It looked like Barber was going to have a great shot at redemption there. He makes the great catch. Looked like he was going to break that one take it to the house to win it in overtime, and he fumbles. I mean, it just that's the way it's gone the last 3 weeks for this team.
It has been, but again, you have to understand the situation you're in as a running back. Cover it up. You don't have to hit the home run at that point. Not to mention the ball needs to be on the outside arm and the left arm when you're running to the left. But you just have to protect it in that situation and play for the field goal.
That's the Denver Broncos' only hope is to strip the ball. Just cover it up with both hands like what Howard's talking about. I mean, again, that is coached by the coaches. And Marion Barber, for a 7-year player, unacceptable, Jigs.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, and you think of all the work that went into, trying to get this thing down get the ball down the field and everything else, even after, you had to go to overtime. And then to have something like that happen, it's inexcusable. It's the kind of thing that as a coach, I imagine, has you wondering why in the world you're doing what you're doing. Because when you see something like that happen, 2 mistakes like that in a critical time in the game, it's just crazy.
The sad thing is, Jigs, we're not going to hear from Marion Barber because he doesn't talk to the media. Yeah. So we won't even hear his
at this point,
comments.
we might welcome that because, frankly, I don't think there's much he can say that I want to hear right about now.
We will hear from Lovey. We will have Caleb Haney's press conference live from Denver. And as always, we want you to get interactive with the show. Tom Cooper is monitoring your questions and comments tonight at csnchicago.com. You can also reach us on Twitter, CSN Chicago, or by using the hashtag BearsPGL. Coop, what's going on over there? It can't be good.
Boy, I have the luckiest job in the world tonight talking to people right now, csnchicago.com. I mean, just seeing everybody react once Marion Barber fumbled that football was amazing. Eden in the chat room said, goodbye 2011 season. It was good while it lasted. Hold me, I'm having Wani flashbacks. Meanwhile, Carita says, pay Forte. And K. Kyriazopoulos on Twitter says, I just spilled water everywhere here at the bar. Packers fans are laughing at me. So the postmortem's going on right now, csnchicago.com. It's Bears PGL Interactive. You can also get interactive with us on Facebook, like us, Comcast Sportsnet Chicago, and just right on our wall there. On Twitter, at CSN Chicago is our handle. Use the hashtag BearsPGL. Best comment this week gets a $50 gift card to Joe's Seafood Prime Steak and Stone Crab Restaurant here in Chicago, guys. So we'll have the best comments throughout the show.
All right, Coop, thank you very much. We will check in with you throughout the next 90 minutes. This was a good game to be on Twitter because there was a lot of good give and take that you could have with this one. So, Coop, we'll check in with you in just a bit. Time now for our opening kickoff, brought to you by Taco Bell. Dan Jiggets leads us off.
Well, the whole thing is play to win the game. And when you think about trying to win the game, you're coming down in those critical spots, you do the right things. You play smart. And today, coming down the stretch, Marion Barber did not play smart. It's really a shame because he wasted a wonderful effort, 25 carries, 100 yards during regulation, and then he does those kinds of things. It's just unbelievable that he could allow that to happen.
Yeah, for me, it would be knowing the situation. When you look at the Chicago Bears, they knew the situation. They knew how huge this game was. That message was relayed by Lovie Smith, and I thought it was executed beautifully. I mean, they had physically, the Bears played awesome for almost basically 55 and a half minutes of this game. Marion Barber with that poor decision, that's what cost the Bears the game. So I thought they knew the situation going into the game. Marion Barber forgot the situation that Howard brought up just a minute ago.
And I think building on that, I thought the defense came out and played assignment football. They understood that they were going to go against an unconventional offense, but they were outstanding. You talk about being on the field as much as they were for really the first 2.5 quarters of this game. They were still able to be strong at the end. And this is a situation where a defense is put in tough situations but are able to make plays. They just couldn't come up with enough plays today.
Moments ago, this is the Bears walking into the locker room after the difficult overtime loss. Lance Briggs said if he would, he was asked if he'd be embarrassed if they lost to Denver, and he said, "I'd be freaking, you know what? I don't even want to know what's going through Brian Urlacher's and Lance Briggs' mind right now because those guys did not deserve this."
You look at the way the defense played this game today, even with providing turnovers and that kind of thing, an excellent field position, and from an offensive standpoint, things weren't clicking, things weren't happening, and you sit there and you go, well, wait a minute, what can you do to try to get something good to happen? Finally, they found a little bit of a mix and were able to get one, to Barber for the touchdown. But after all of that, you say, well, where's the beef? I mean, offensively, there was no production in this football game, basically. They were just like the Broncos, playing to get to fourth down, it looked like.
Yeah, well, for me, when you look at the defense, it was an incredible performance by the defense. Everybody can say, oh, look at Tim Tebow, he did it in the fourth quarter. The Bears were giving up that junk yardage. Mm-hmm. They were just in Tampa 2, fine, you went down, you scored a touchdown, we recovered the onside kick, you blew it in the 4-minute offense. Again, it was the offense that failed the defense. So, I mean, any way you look at it, the Bears' defense was incredible in this ballgame.
It begs the question, and what do you do?
Can you trot Caleb Haney out there against Seattle?
I thought if they didn't get that return by Devin Hester where they did go down to score, I thought they were going to make a quarterback change. I thought Josh McCown would have kicked, because at that point, the Bears were 0 for whatever. 0 for 7 on third down conversions.
0 for almost Oakland.
Hester gets the return. They're able to muster a touchdown. And it still didn't get even better after that. But they had to say, all right, we got the touchdown. Let's not put him in count. I honestly thought the Bears had to be discussing making a quarterback change today.
Let's take a look at the NFC playoff picture as both the Atlanta Falcons and Detroit Lions won today. So, for the moment, the Bears drop out of the playoff picture. This is. I
think it might be for more than a moment.
Yeah, well, no, absolutely.
When you look at what's going on right now and who's got to play whom, and the kind of situation you are in offensively, this is something that's untenable. Because against a team like Denver that struggles to score points, you struggle against them. Yeah. I can't imagine what's going to happen with some other teams.
The big game tonight, Dallas Giants. Yeah. That's going to impact it. Atlanta won today, so that's another thing to consider. But really tonight, watch what happens in the game tonight between Dallas Cowboys and New York Giants.
You have to, Howard, make a change at quarterback. Why would you stay with Caleb? He's shown you nothing in 3 games that shows that he deserves to start again.
Yeah, because I think you can always make the argument when you first get in as a quarterback that, hey, I need some time. I need to be able to develop. We talked about the system to be able to get those reps. But at this particular point, when you're talking about a team that up until this point was in a race to try to secure a playoff spot, now it's time for you to take a look elsewhere to try to get some momentum going with this team, because that's what you need. You got to get something going.
You got to get leadership somewhere, and by default, it comes from the quarterback position. And again, you go back. Hey, Josh McCown gets here. We know he got more reps this week. He was elevated to the number 2 quarterback today for the Bears. Maybe next week he's elevated to number 1 because, again, his receivers didn't help him early. Hester had the drop, whether you want to blame it on the sunlight, whatever. But later in the game, there's no reason to miss Marion Barber wide open, guys. That play is going to the house for a touchdown.
Does the old saying, be careful what you wish for, come to mind?
Well, it can't get any worse. It can't get any worse,
Oh, really?
Dan.
You remember Ty Collins?
Well, I mean, right. Yeah, I do. But I mean, seriously, can it get any worse than that? No, I don't know. Is this one of the worst Bears defeats you can remember?
Yeah, this is.
I mean, seriously, you're up 10-0 against a team that can't do anything.
Not only that, you're coming down a stretch, you're shutting the Broncos out. They have never been shut out at home. And, you play some soft defense, they get a touchdown. Fine, beautiful, everything is good. Still, and then you come back, and in the onside kick, hey, let us not forget that. That was almost recovered by Denver, number 1. And then, your offense can't keep the ball and kill the clock. It's unbelievable.
But they made some plays. As bad as we are on Haney right now, he made some plays down the stretch until that fumble.
Yeah.
We would be talking about it a little bit differently had the fumble not occurred. Yes, he struggled all game, trying to make some plays, missing wide open receivers, but he did make a couple of plays down the stretch in that last drive.
He did. He made a key pass to Roy Williams. Made the biggest catch, probably the best catch he's had as a Bear. In that last drive that led to
3rd and 6.
Yeah, 3rd and 6. I mean, that's what it comes down to. We'll get more into the quarterback comparison in just a second. Lovey has stepped to the podium. Let's go to Mile High.
All losses hurt, but some seem like hurt a little bit more. This one definitely feels like it hurts a little bit more. Had an opportunity. We have a 10-point lead late like that. We're going to normally win the football game, but you had to give them a lot of credit. They hung in there, and late there got some momentum going, and made some good plays there to allow them to win the game. We did some things that we normally don't do, though, to keep them in the game and give them an opportunity there late. Even going into overtime, we had our chances. If there's anything good that came out of it, we didn't get any injuries from the game. But this was one that we felt, we had circled that we felt like we needed to win out. Of course, not being able to do that, we just have to get ready for the next week. But this one hurts. Not a whole lot more I can say. I'll take your question.
Was that just a little extra aggressiveness by Marion, the one where he went out of bounds in the 4th quarter, just trying to get extra?
Well, we know what type of player Marion is, and all running backs are trying to get an extra yard here or there. But you have to know the situation. That situation, you got to be able to keep the ball in bounds on that one. He'll tell you that. He'd like to have that one over.
You played too conservative coming down the stretch in the 4th quarter. Needed another first down.
No, yeah, we were trying to get that first down but still not putting our team in a bad situation. Like the way we, the one play we just talked about, holding on to the ball, and we're okay. I still like our plan that we had going, there at the end of the game.
The way you prepared for Tebow, knowing that he's the 4th quarter quarterback, I mean, pretty much every game he's won in the 4th quarter. Did you prepare differently for the 4th quarter?
No, you're trying to stop him, trying to stop them, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd quarter. We knew at the end, that game plan changed a little bit. When you're down by 10, we knew it would turn into a passing game, which we felt pretty good about. Didn't get enough pressure on him. He was able to, to scramble around and keep plays alive that allowed the receivers chances to get open.
Did you guys do anything different in that last drive, 2 drives of theirs?
We played our defense like we did most of the game. In those situations, we're playing our defense. A lot of cover 2. We blitzed a little bit in there, played man coverage. We played our defense as much as anything.
After seeing Tebow in person, how tough is he? What's your opinion of him?
He's a good football player, but they have other good football players, a good football team. to hold us down offensively like that. But Tebow is the leader of their team, and normally, quarterback dictate a lot on who wins the game, and he definitely had a big part in that today.
Was there any reason Jennings was going off? Was he cramping or anything at the end of the game?
No, our plan was to play three corners. We're running an awful lot, and guys, we want to keep fresh guys out there, but the plan was to play Zach Moore coming into the game.
Look, you haven't had a lot of 10-point leads to operate in the fourth quarter. How do you respond to this, and what do you say to this?
Let's go back to the field. Go back to the practice field. It hasn't happened a lot. Don't see it happening, a lot more in the future. But today, for whatever reason, we didn't get the job done.
Did you see any progression on Haney? Did you like this play today?
He made some plays. We had a chance to win at the end. So our quarterback had a lot to do with that. Running game helped, but we saw some good things that Caleb was doing. Thank you.
Lovie Smith, after an absolute brutal loss to the Denver Broncos. Take a look at the numbers. When it was crunch time, Tim Tebow did step up. I mean, look, ESPN's going to blow this out and say, Tebow Mania strikes again, whatever. Are you going to give him any credit? I mean, is that the way you look at it? I guess he was successful, certainly in those last 3 scoring drives, but do you look at this more just Marion Barber cost him the game, or Tebow actually?
Well, I will give him a lot of credit, for being a player and being able to go out and make plays. So you have to give him credit there. Defensively, though, they played outstanding as well. This was a total team effort when you talk about the Denver Broncos. So, yes, Marion Barber cost the Bears the game. It's no question about that. And I normally will never single out a player in this instance, but you can't help but see it. It's right there. 2 plays really cost the Bears the game in this one. But I think you still ultimately have to give Tebow some credit because he made some plays.
Oh, yeah, he did. There's no question. There's no question. And you saw the light click on for him. And when you're talking about down the stretch of the ball game and then in overtime, that light goes on. There's no question about that. And all of a sudden, he looks like a guy that's been in the pocket for 15 years. When he was forced to throw the football, they knew they had to throw in order to try to win the game, and he came out and got it done. I know the Bears. I know they're playing that soft defense on the first drive that they scored on. But after that, it's a ball game then. Right. And here we go.
Is it just because everybody's in somewhat of a prevent defense? Or I wouldn't say prevent. I mean, they were in their basic cover two there.
They're playing really soft. The safety's back deep.
Okay, so when we look at all these Tebow comebacks, you have to think that most of these teams are playing deep like that.
Right. But the thing was, even with the Bears playing soft, trying to funnel everybody inside, they still got a couple of passes completed to the outside, got out of bounds to stop the clock. So that's quarterbacking right there.
I mean, he made some plays, but I mean, this game was lost by Marion Barber. I mean, I think we credit the Denver Broncos because they believe this is their formula for success to win. And that you credit Tebow for his will to win and his belief and his desire and all those things. But bottom line, 2 plays, like Howard said, cost the Bears the game. It wasn't anything that Tim Tebow did. The game should have been over in regulation.
And you think that Caleb Haney will get the start next week, Chiggs, or do you think they got to make a change?
I think he'll get the start again next week. You look at his numbers.
Just a short leash?
Was he 12 of 19, a quarterback rating of 78?
Yeah, I mean, what is that? I mean, come on. We all watch the game. The eye test. He fails the eye test.
The eye test is this. Have you seen Josh McCown?
No, I haven't. I haven't seen him.
That's what I'm saying. There's a reason why one guy's number 1 and the other guy's number 2.
The guy's been here for 2.5, 3 weeks.
And Josh McCown was playing in the UFL.
Right.
So you're going to take a guy out of the UFL and say, okay, he's better than the guy that we had as the number 2.
He's won NFL games as a starter. Let's give Josh McCown.
But it was back when you were playing.
but they still count.
Yeah. He's won NFL games as a starter. Here's what I think what happens. Lovie kind of said it there in his press conference. Hey, Caleb, we were in position to win. So he gets probably another start, but the leash just got shorter.
Oh, there's no doubt.
Josh McCown will get more reps this week. He's already been elevated to number 2. He may be coming in at some point next week.
And then after that, you'll be asking for Nathan Enderle. Okay.
Hey, you know what? As sad as this is, and I thought last week's loss was absolutely demoralizing. This one, I have now. I want to crawl under. I'd like to do this show from under the table if possible. But we do have a little bit of levity to bring you later on. This week, we found a song that's It's all over Twitter. It's called Cuddy Come Back. It's a parody song from Baby Come Back. Chad in Portland, who's apparently watches the show, we will have that for you a little bit later on in the show.
Cool.
There's mentions of Enderly. There's mentions of
Any mention of Kool-Aid? Because I tell you what, by the next time I get to drink some, it might be vintage.
Yeah, your Kool-Aid. We're not going to see any orange in that Kool-Aid because you're going to have so much something else in there that we won't be
Clear
able to
right
tell.
up.
Other problems. Do you have to look at Marion Barber and say just put Khalil Bell out there and give Barber some just limited touches? Because Marion looked good until the gaffes at the end.
He played great.
Yeah, he did.
Played great.
I mean, he had a great game.
Yeah.
Until the end. And unfortunately, the end counts as much as the beginning does. But you look at those two gaffes at the end, and you figure a guy that's been around that long is going to be smart, take care of the Rocky. You want to get your experienced guy out there, a guy that's taken a lot of snaps in the NFL, and then all of a sudden he does that. I mean, it's just hard to understand.
We are again waiting for Caleb Haney, taking a little time. Could be a thumb issue. I don't know.
Decompressing right now.
Maybe we'll have our decision made up for us because of injury.
Well,
but
you want to know what's funny? Because we were talking about stats in the back room, just talking about Denver. Think about how good the Bears defense played. We all were talking back there. In 7 starts, Tim Tebow had basically only turned over the football, I think, 3 times, excuse me. In 7 starts, only 3 turnovers. In this game alone, the Bears got 2 off of them. Yeah. Everything you could ask the Bears to do, they did defensively. They did it. Yeah. And they shut that offense
the little option thing, that was...
Shut it down.
Shut down McGahee, who had been going nuts the last 6 weeks or so. Shut down Tebow, basically, in terms of the run game. Everything that you wanted them to do against that veer option, or whatever you want to call it, they had accomplished.
But I think that's what you talk about when you talk about playing assignment football. You talk about the pick that Peanut had.
Oh, that was
it was unbelievable. The athleticism that he showed and displayed on that particular play. And Adonijah had an outstanding play, Peppers, against the run, where they're trying to make that decision. Are you going to take the quarterback or are you going to play the pitch man? Both of those guys on numerous occasions played the quarterback and the pitch guy and still made the play.
It brings up the point we were talking about earlier. When you look at their defense, it's perfect to play against this offense. It's about athleticism and getting to the football, and that's what they do.
Caleb Haney has stepped to the mic. Let's listen in.
How tough is it on the drive? You try to close it out, Marion. Close that out.
Yeah, it's tough. You always want to stay in bounds in those situations. He was making a tough run, trying to get extra yards. So I couldn't really see what was going on over there, how close it was, or anything like that. It's just unfortunate. You like to, stay in right there, obviously, but that didn't lose the game for us. It didn't win the game, definitely, but it didn't lose the game. We lost it by not generating more points.
You guys were driving pretty good in that first drive of overtime, and then the fall. And when you got the momentum like that, how disappointing is it to have it happen?
It's a huge disappointment. We were moving pretty good there. I don't know. We were down to like 30-something, and so you never want to have that happen. It's just unfortunate.
Caleb, what are some things you felt like you did well? How did you improve today?
Ball security was pretty good. No turnovers today. That was an improvement. We didn't throw it very much. We were running the ball so well, and our defense was playing, stuffing them so well that's kind of what the game called for. Was we were pounding away at them. Running the clock. So I'll have to go back and look at the tape to see, details about passing and, stuff like that. I thought I moved around in the pocket a little bit better today. Stepped up a lot better. And, yep.
Talk about their defense a little bit. You guys, I think, have maybe 1 snap inside their territory until Hester's return. What were they doing down?
They're just a good defense. They've been holding a lot of guys down the last couple of weeks, or last 4 or 5 weeks, whatever. They're on a win streak, so they're a tough defense. They got a lot of veteran guys in the secondary, smart guys, tough. They play hard. They got good pressure today. But hate to say that we gave this one to them. So.
You guys good? All right, thank you.
Yeah, it's fake. Caleb, let's go back to Caleb. Is he answering a question? Can we go back live to Denver? Let's listen in with a tissue.
Yeah, when we stepped out of bounds with about a minute left to go.
A lot of our, I don't really remember what play call it was. A lot of our plays are designed, to just find the hole. So it was, I think it was, I really don't remember, honestly. Really don't. He got like 6 yards on it or something, so.
Great.
Compelling and rich. Good thing we went back for that one. But that pretty much, that summed up his performance in my opinion. The Bears did force 2 turnovers on this day, ran for 159 yards on the ground, 345 total yards of offense for Tim Tebow and the Denver Broncos. I've seen enough of Caleb Haney, guys. I have. You know what? That NFC title game was honestly, it really gave a lot of people false hope. Yes. I think it, the guy still threw 2 interceptions and a pick 6 in that game. And we thought that was great. Yeah. So we go into this, we got Caleb Haney as our backup. Really, he was 3rd on the depth chart for that game for a reason. Todd Collins, who's out of the league, was the 2nd quarterback on the depth chart in that game.
Pat, you're preaching to the choir in this respect. We've been saying for some time now that what you need is a legitimate number 2 who has started in the National Football League. You need that experience. And they've chosen for the last couple of years basically to go without that. Now, last year they brought in Todd Collins, and it's the last time I hope that I'll have to mention his name. And that was a disaster. But we need somebody that's actually played a little bit, and has some experience of recent vintage. Jimmy, are you ready to go? Or
I'll tell you what, I'm thinking about it.
I bet you are, man.
Do it right now. But, the guy signed on the roster, it is Josh McCown. But I think here's what I would like to know. And Howard brought up a great point when we were back in the green. I wonder if Caleb Haney, even on that particular play, says to Marion Barber, Marion, if it's not there, just get down.
Come on.
As a veteran quarterback, you do that. I mean, that's what you do. I'm serious. You have to do that. Those little pointers, those little reminders. I used to do it for Anthony Thomas. He's a rookie. I was a veteran. Anthony, it's 4-minute offense. You got to stay in bounds, even if it's for a loss. Even if you get tackled for a loss, we're fine. That's good. We'll take it. And I wonder if Caleb Haney did that.
But see, those are the little things that you expect out of a starting quarterback. I mean, if you just listen to a press conference, and is that really a starting quarterback in the National Football League? It shouldn't be, because he's sitting there saying, I don't know. He doesn't even have an idea of how to answer the tough questions.
But let's not lose focus on the situation, though. You're talking about a guy who's been in the league 6 or 7 years and has run the ball multiple times in multiple big games, and he's the guy that made the mistakes.
No question about it.
Caleb didn't fumble. Caleb didn't even throw an interception today.
But we're not losing focus. But when you're asked a question about a play that was run, you telling me you can't answer the question?
And you can't remember the play?
Or you don't want to answer the question.
I'll tell you the play. Hugh Douglas blew up my shoulder, 208. I remember every single play, and I think Howard's got a point. Even though Marion's the veteran and he knows, I mean, that's your job as the CEO of the offense. Your job is to go out there and manage the O. You're the CEO in charge.
Jim, do you remember the comment I made last week, about the being up to your elbows in alligators?
Yeah.
Well, that's where he is right now. It's like, he can't remember all of that stuff. Yeah, he's a guy who's been, it started like 2 games?
Yeah, God, if we only had Rex Grossman.
Sexy Rex?
Remember the years?
Good Rex?
Oh, man. Folks, I hold in my hands the highlights of today's game. I know you want to stick around for that. And again, Cuddy Come Back, that song that you have to hear. It'll put you in a slightly better mood than you are in right now. We'll have Kip Lewis with player reaction. We'll hear from Brian Urlacher and the difference makers. John Moon Mullen will join us. First, here's our Discount Tire poll question. Is it time to start Josh McCown at quarterback? Simply a yes or a no. Go to csnchicago.com. Vote away. Results coming up.
Where did that question come from?
Me. Welcome back to Bears Postgame Live, and time for this Sportsnet Central News Break. With Howard Griffith, Jim Miller, and Dan Jiggets, I am Pat Boyle. The Bears made their way to the Mile High City, the epicenter of Tebow Mania, where the Broncos are riding a 5-game winning streak. Bears in pretty much must-win mode at this point to stay in the wild card hunt. Tebow had not thrown an interception since Week 8 against the Lions. First quarter, 3rd and 6 for Denver. Tebow under pressure leaves the pocket, goes to his left instead of going out of bounds, throws it, and Peanut Tillman makes one of the best interceptions you will ever see, Jim Miller.
I'll tell you what, that's he's walking a tightrope right there. Just look at the skill, how he rotates his body, gets his right foot tapped in. Excellent concentration by Peanut Tillman. Underrated, should go to a Pro Bowl this year.
He should. Unfortunately, the Bears could do nothing with it. I think. Under 8 minutes to go, 28-yard field goal attempt for the Broncos. Matt Prater. Looks like a chip shot, right? Nuh-uh. Julius Peppers, Israel Donahue, Henry Melton all teaming up for the block. And Jigs, we've seen Peppers do this time and again.
Yeah, we really have. These guys got an excellent push up there, all three of those guys, and getting some good penetration on the play. And again, a critical play in the ballgame.
We had a soccer match. Zip going to the third. Broncos run the play action. Tebow going deep. He's got Demaryius Thomas. Oh, a lot of drops on this day on both sides. Right through the wickets. 9 minutes left. Broncos punt. Devin Hester. After fair catching a bunch, he does this.
No, yes.
26 yards on the return, and boy, did the Bears need it on this drive. 3rd and 1 at the 11. Marion Barber. First conversion on a 3rd down for the Bears since the Oakland game. Very next play. Yeah, give it to Barber. Bounces outside, 9 yards to pay dirt. Howard, take us through this one.
You know, I think it's an outstanding play. He's going front side, then he cuts back. See the jump cut there? You don't like where that ball is hanging loose, but he's able to power through and makes a play. He knows he's got to beat the guy on the backside. He does that.
If only his day ended there. 4th quarter, Robbie Gould from 57 yards. Why are we showing you this? Because he got it. Franchise record for Robbie Gould, 10-zip Bears. They got this one right. Hold on, folks. Tebow hanging around in the pocket. Craig Stouts on the delayed blitz. He forces a fumble. Recovered by Donahue. Second takeaway of the game for the Bears. Just over 2 minutes left. Tebow dropping back, and he finds Thomas in the back of the end zone. Got ourselves a ball game. It's 10-7. Broncos go for the onside kick. Oh, this thing hung up forever, James.
I guess that air really is thin out there.
Nick Roach finally comes down with it.
Game over.
Yeah, we thought so. 2 minutes left, 2nd and 10. Barber, this is the play. Go down, Marion. No, you don't go down out of bounds. Huge mistake. Final seconds. Because of that gap, they got this chance from 59 yards, and Prater booms it. And we are tied at 10, going to overtime. 3rd and 7. Marion Barber looking for redemption. Finding daylight. Oh, he did it. Yes, he did. So then, from 51 yards, Prater for the win. Yeah. Bears lose 13-10. Give up 13 unanswered points. Another come-from-behind win for Tebow and company. Bears with their 3rd straight loss. They fall to 7-6 and drop out of the playoff picture in the NFC. Just 2 for 15 on 3rd down chances. First time in NFL history, 2 field goals of at least 57 yards in the same game. Howard, what did you learn in this one?
Well, I think you learned that the Bears have an outstanding defense and can play, but you have to be able to pay attention to details. You have to take care of the football when you're opportune, when you have it in your hands. It's important. Understand the down and distance in the situation of the football game.
What did you learn?
Yeah, definitely on situational football. I'm going to stick with my opening points, kickoff points, because the Bears knew the situation. This game was a must-win game, but then one player did not know his situation, and that was enough to cost the Bears the game. It really was. One play cost the Bears the game.
I tell you what, the other thing, though, that sticks out in my mind is even with the limitations of a passing game, if there's any positive at all to come out of this, even with the limitations of the passing game against a pretty solid defense, the Bears offensively were able to put themselves in a position to win a game. Unfortunately for them, you know, a couple of turnovers at the end there and it's all over, or one turnover at the end and it's all over.
It is all over next week as the Bears play their final home game of the season. We'll see if they get some help when they host Seattle. We will be at Soldier Field for that one for Bears Postgame Live. Still to come on this show, Cuddy, come back. Please come back. And a lot of your comments and thoughts via Twitter and csnchicago.com. Keep it here on Comcast Sportsnet.
This is not a prescription. This is Edith and Ellen.
I was the firstborn. I got married first. I had children first. And I'm the first to get this haircut.
I was the first to get a flu shot.
You didn't make an appointment yet.
Don't need one at Walgreens. Strolled right in and got my flu shot early from my Walgreens pharmacist. They're all specially trained. So now I'm number one.
It only took you 77 years.
Arm yourself with a flu shot from all Walgreens and Take Care clinics. Walgreens, there's a way to stay well.
Well, it's time to put the lights up again. Pound that old plastic Rudolph into the front yard. This one's using more than a hammer to get the job done. And while most families bring the tree to the house, Ram families bring the house to the tree. Get the year's best deals at the Ram Big Finish event.
Now get 0% financing or $6,200 in total values on the 2012 Ram 1500 Bighorn.
We're your neighbor at the end of the block. You can reach us directly from your backyard. Welcome to Nova Scotia. You may have seen our pool, the biggest in the neighborhood, or heard music drifting from our windows.